All right, what is happening, everybody? We got, is Terminator coming soon? We'll have a good chat. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, I'm sure. BOOMA COMMUNITY STREAMA number 49 on July 30th, 2026. And I got another panel full of lovely ladies here. Welcome, Hillbilly Heart, back to the program.
Don't worry, I'm crocheting.
And we have to announce, just in case you run off the screen, you'll be chasing a little lizard around the house.
Yes, I have a skink in my house that got in the front door when I had it open, and I'm going to claim it as a dependent on my taxes if I don't get it caught.
Boy, bitch, you changed your... Oh, yep, I'm a blunt bitch. I love that shit. Oh, what's up, Mary? Miss Cojones. Dawn Christine's in the house. We got a celebrity here. She loves it when I say that. What's up, Monica? Dorietta Farms. Or Doriette. I don't know. I'm bad with names. Probably Sam Lamb. There you go. What's up? You changed your name. Lady Slipper. And then we got Michelle maybe in the house. And then some old fruit. We got a bunch of people. I love it. We are live on Rumble, Substack, and YouTube. And I'd like to also welcome, for the first time ever, Ursula. Hi, Ursula. How you doing?
Good. I'm so nervous. It's my first time on a panel.
I know, right? You'll have some fun though once we just get chatting. We'll have a good time. But welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right. I'm stoked to have you here. There might be a couple more people that join us. They're the tech is challenging sometimes to get on one of these. But what's up, Ame K in the house?
Hey everybody, how's everybody doing?
Great.
I like to see all those names that I recognize.
Right, you're looking pretty badass in this too. What do you think?
I know. You know what? You're doing a lot for my love life with my husband with these thumbnails. You know.
Oh, you need me to send them over? We can make big old posters to put on your wall every once in a while.
No, that's okay. I'm good, thanks.
It's too much. Too much if it's all the time.
No, he likes it. He says I look badass. So.
Right. And Liz, you saw you're on here, right?
Where am I?
You got one badass gun there. Not quite as badass as Heather's, though.
I have what looks like that. It's got a thermal scope.
Yeah.
I have an AR.
There you go. What's up, Heather?
Hi, buddy.
What do you think of your gun?
I love it. I love it. We look like badasses.
Right. We got some people behind us that are watching our six. And I'm throwing some Molotovs. And, before I ever was awakened to any of this stuff that was going on, I said Terminator is going to happen, which might be what they want to do with the programming. I was talking to Heather a little bit about this. Heather watched a bunch of the trailers of these movies. So we got a bunch of them like in the works. We could talk about a bunch of them. We did Demolition Man last time because it just came to me. And then it turns out that Sylvester Stallone's signed up to do a second one. And it's been like decades. Do you know about that, Hillbilly Heart?
How long is that man going to live? How old is he?
He's in his 70s. But he got that Hollywood plastic surgery face now. But he's still rocking and rolling. I'm watching Tulsa Kings. I can't remember which one.
My dad watches that, so it must be good.
It's actually pretty good. And Sylvester's kind of controversial, but they're also making The Making of Rocky. If you don't know the story, I mean, who knows what's real when it comes to any of these people. But the story is that Sylvester Stallone really wanted to get in the business. They said he didn't have the looks for it. He wrote the script for Rocky like in a short period of time, like in like a day or a couple days or something like that. Brought it to him, and they were like super stoked about it. And he's like, in the negotiations, he's like, "But I get to play the lead role." They're like, "No fucking way, bro. You got like a weird look to you, all this stuff. It doesn't work." And he's like, "Well, I'm not giving you the script unless I get to play the lead role." I don't know exactly how it went down, but that's kind of how it went as far as the story goes. And then they allowed him to do the role, and then obviously Rocky blew up, became a thing.
His look really kind of made the whole movie work.
Right. He seemed more. I mean, he was pretty jacked, but he looked like more of a normal guy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and so I don't know. It's just interesting. And then in this case, we're doing Terminator, which is Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I actually saw a recent interview where they were both there, and they were talking about how they were always competing with each other in a like non like public way, like in their minds. They were like, I have to top what Sylvester's doing. In my mind, I have to top what Schwarzenegger's doing.
Yeah,
And
they
then
had
Terminator.
beef back in the day.
What's that?
They had some beef back in the day because they were up for a lot of the same parts.
Right, they were always in the action roles and all that kind of stuff, fighting for like the the silver screen. What's up, Lisa? Can you hear us, Lisa?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh no! Oh no! I'm gonna drop her down. Will you chat with her at all, Heather, and let her know? Like we were talking and she couldn't hear us. We're gonna try to work through some of these technical difficulties while we do this. But yes, Terminator had Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he was like a lead role, and he had like some of like maybe the fewest lines of a lead character ever in Terminator. I don't think he had learned enough of the English language to have like a lot of lines at this point. But I don't know. Either way, he had very few lines in the script, but he obviously became like the face of it. And it was kind of a twist in Terminator 2 when he became the good guy after being the bad guy. What do you think, Ame K? Were you into these movies? Your hubby had to have been.
Oh, I was totally into them. I loved them. They were great. I saw the very first one, and then there was many years between the very first one and the second one, but Linda Hamilton was badass in that movie, and
those were the days before AI and looks maxing.
Yeah, she looked awesome.
Is she the one? Great. She's Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
All right. Full disclosure. I know this is a panel full of women, but Terminator 1, I do believe, was the first time I saw boobies on a TV.
Really?
Oh, they're everywhere. So
well, now they're everywhere, but back then it wasn't like that, and you didn't have the internet.
When Sarah Connor racked that shotgun like that, listen, ladies, that takes years to learn, and you should not do that, especially if you've got like a full stock one, because you will throw your shoulder out. But that was a pretty good move to know that she put the time in to understand that weapon to be able to do that, because that's hard to do.
Lots of training for her.
Yeah,
it was between the physical training to look the way she looked, and then training also how to handle the weapons and everything. She probably had a bunch of experts training her, and like I said, that was before AI, special effects. They had to do their own stunts or stuntmen, but people were the ones that had to do this. Actually, there was no. It was like now, not like nowadays. They don't have to do any of those things, really. I mean,
yeah.
Real quick though, let's see if Lisa, can you hear us? Still having some issues. Well, I was talking to Heather, and apparently they are on Terminator number 7 now. I had no idea, because I think I stopped watching it like at least 4. Maybe
I think I stopped at 3.
And then they brought Arnold into one of them, but it wasn't like he was there. They just used like a CGI back in the day when they were like, it wasn't even that good yet. But they did make it happen, so that was kind of weird. But then he did show up, obviously, and they rebooted it with the Sarah Connor chick, older and still badass. And now she's been in so she was in Stranger Things, and then she was in there's another series that she's in. I think it's Resident Alien, where she's playing a similar role, where she's like a military like person trying to get a hold of this alien tech and find the alien and stuff like that.
Hasn't she also been very open about like mental health issues as well?
Yeah, she disappeared for a while, right?
Yeah.
So I think she dealt with some stuff. So good for her on getting back on it. But who knows what's really going on in that industry, because it's a thing, y'all. And like we said, this is programming. So when I saw Terminator, and then later on, so we got Skynet, and somebody I think shared in the chat. I'll see if I can just grab a screenshot of it. In our Telegram chat, I think it was Monica shared. Remember in Terminator when Sarah Connor was thrown in a mental asylum? Interesting how that coincides with her real life, perhaps, for destroying data centers owned by Skynet. And Sabrina's talked about, I can't remember what it is, but she says like there is a Skynet, like one of the big companies or whatever. I mean,
I believe those Skynet is for the UK. I'm not sure.
I think it's China.
It's China because I thought it was the UK.
The UK has it as well. Yeah.
Do they?
Like a Skynet kind of program.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm not 100% sure if I remember it correctly, but as far as I understand, Skynet, just like the movie, it's something they have in the UK. You know, I don't want to say it does exist. It does exist. That's the thing.
Right. Yes, and then that's what Blunt Bitch is saying. It is in the UK, up and running. Look who we got. We got the Sinaloa cartel in the house. Just joking, Janet. Just joking. Hi, Janet. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Oh,
I'm glad you made it.
Hey, Janet, here's your sneak peek of one of yours.
Right. Check this out. So this is Janet.
He's so cute.
Oh.
And I gave his little bees look like he's going to his wallet. And then his kitty cat, but I gave him hair the whole way around too for you.
Adorable, Liz.
What's the
That's
surprise,
so
Liz?
She has to find the surprise because I hate to show it to everybody. It's a little embarrassing for him.
Ooh.
This is so awesome. There it is. You get your first peek of it, and then it's got to go to California, and then it's got to go through, I don't know.
He's got a buddy. He's gonna be
It has to go through immigration. Yeah.
He's gotta go. Boom adult's gotta go through immigration, and he's got stoned eyes. Oh shit, he's gonna get stuck in immigration.
I found eyelids that make him look like he's stoned.
Oh gosh, he's gonna get so busted. He's so busted, Janet. It's gonna take you forever to get him. ICE might even confiscate him just in case. Lisa, can you hear us? Damn it!
She's here in spirit.
You can hear us?
I can hear you, but y'all keep cutting out.
Oh yeah, you're. How's your connection?
Window.
You gotta try Chrome browser. I know it's the evil one, but I think that's why they want us to use it for this.
Probably.
Okay, so try to get on Chrome.
Liz, can you show biscuits yet or no?
Well, I don't have his body all the way done, but I've got these are my try-on glasses. I have real glasses for him. I learned how to do a different hairstyle. So this took about 3 hours, but it looks more like Biscuit's hair. So I'm really tickled with this new hair. Even though it takes a long time, I'm really tickled with it because it looks more like Biscuit's hair. I've got glasses. These are my ones that I cracked that I try them on to make sure I put the eyes the right way. His body's not all the way done, but he's getting there. He's getting there. I can't stipple him to the last minute because then I can't put the shirts on because their heads are too big. So I have to do all the clothes and then put them together.
Well, there you go, Janet. Your dolls are in the making. I mean, the Booma one.
Right. Is anybody else getting feedback, or is it just me? Like it.
Who's talking? I can't see it.
That was Janet. I don't hear any feedback on my end.
Me either.
Yeah, like it's. I'm gonna just disconnect this.
Janet,
Okay,
you got a
let me
little
try
feedback
now and
coming
see.
through yours, so it might be feedback coming right back.
Yeah, it was like it was crazy. I was hearing the same thing twice.
Yeah, you got a little feedback coming through yours. So when I know you stay away from your device a little bit, so I don't know if you can mute yourself when you're not talking, kind of a thing. We'll see if that fixes anything, helps anything. I think it's because you have that fan going on above. It just barely catches it, so it thinks you're trying to talk. It's the same thing Ursula had a little earlier, but now you got the manual fan that you have to. I'm sorry, Ursula. I know it's probably just freaking deadly hot.
It's okay. I'll probably ask my kids to set the fan up a little further away from me because, believe it or not, the fan is right here next to me. I'm sitting on my bed, and the fan, I have to keep it. It's so hot here. The air is white, and completely white. And I definitely believe that it's from, we're basically now in one big microwave oven right now, between the the microwave radiation and the metal particles in the air. We are in a microwave here. If I show you the sky, we're supposed to have blue, blue, blue sky. That's how it was when I first moved here, but now it's white, completely white. And it's getting worse. We don't ever get any breaks. Like, I have not seen a blue sky in a very, very, very long time. So, so it feels like being in an oven, and sometimes I really have to go into the shower, cold shower head and all, because you feel like you're completely over.
Can you put your fan like farther back and maybe it won't bother your audio? I feel like you're having to torture yourself, because this could be like 3 hours.
That's okay. I'm gonna ask my kids to help me, because they have their own fans too. Maybe they can help me.
Right. Maybe one that's a little quieter.
Come and help me.
We'll see.
I'm gonna ask them to help me. Maybe move the fan somewhere further. So, because this is
it might be all right if you put it back a little bit. Jamie, quit being a lightweight. No excuses. Veronica Rabbit's in the house. And so Veronica is the other belly dancer. Ursula is also a belly dancer. She's professional. I want to see some of that. So we want to start a biofield belly dancing class. They're already doing it, but it's only for the ladies, of course. So that's how it is. And then hopefully we'll get Lisa on here. I really hope we can get to work out. Anyways, okay, where were we at? We were talking about Terminator. Janet showed up. We had to show the dolls. I expect Biscuits to show up at some point, because he'll like just instinctively know that his doll was shown. I'm sure it's connected directly to his biofield. Biscuits said on our recent show that he says once we deploy all these dolls, the world will find out.
So I just want to let you know, I did look up Skynet, and it is a interlinked system of facial recognition and software and surveillance cameras used in China to monitor citizens and assist public security.
So they call that one Skynet, and that one's in China. So they call it Skynet.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
I think there is another one, though, that's not called Skynet, that is more like the one that's in Terminator. But damn, how
dare they?
And China owns a lot of Hollywood, of course. They also own a lot of NBA and various entertainment, athletic sports.
Yep.
China, of course, they would taunt Americans.
They're so bold. They tell you what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah. It's not, I don't call it predictive programming. I just call it programming.
Right. I think it's more like mocking us than anything.
I agree.
You can't predict something that's planned, right?
Right.
You can maybe predict how it might go, but you're not, there's no prediction if you already know what's coming, what the plan is.
Exactly.
But it's definitely programming, or they wouldn't call it that. It was interesting when I was watching, I rewatched a couple of the Terminators on like 2x speed. And the second one, I did to really.
Wow. Damn, you went hardcore into this. Okay, so everybody sit back. We got some research coming straight from Heather's freaking went hard on this. Okay, go ahead.
So what stuck out to me was the second one. I always really liked the second one. That was like my favorite one. But they talk about Skynet, and in that movie they say that Skynet got deployed in 1997, which I found that interesting.
Right.
So I didn't do any deep dives or anything to like research when it came online or whatever, but it'd be interesting to do that, because I'm wondering if that would be about the time.
Right. If Sabrina was here, she'd probably tell you exactly when this other Skynet thing came into play. Someone went loud. Is that me?
It might be. I was muted because I had to ask.
Oh, you got your fan going now, don't you, Ursula?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. Just make sure you mute yourself when you're not talking.
Yeah, I had to mute myself. I muted myself because I asked my daughter to move the fan. So just move it a little further away. Can you hear it? Does it interfere now? Is it all good?
We can hear it a little bit. It's not too bad. Just when you're not talking, keep it muted, and it'll be all good. We
I
want
could mute.
Ursula to be comfortable.
What I was thinking, I could mute myself when I'm not talking or something, so you don't
Yep.
hear it. Would that be better?
Perfect.
All right.
And Margaret says that there are male belly dancers.
There
Are they straight?
Well,
That's my question.
that may be to determine. Some of them
Well-
dance like they're not, and some of them dance more like they could be.
Most of I have to tell you, most of the time I don't think they're straight. Okay, but the most famous one is this Egyptian guy. Now his name's not coming to me, and he's fabulous. He's fantastic, and you see him dance in jeans. They have this orchestra, put the music on. You know, the classic Egyptian orchestra. They put the music on. I should share a video. He is absolutely fantastic. I'm not into the male belly dancing because I think it's more of a female thing, but I do recognize it. I do recognize some are really good. And this guy, he's the one that's been around the longest. When the name comes to me, I'll share a video also in the groups. He is phenomenal and he teaches women.
Ursula, have you ever heard of
Probably
La Danse Orientale, the tribal guys?
Yeah. That there is a La Danse Orientale means Oriental dance. It's in French, yeah. But I know that that's exactly what it means, Oriental dance. I don't know if it has another meaning to it, but that's what it means. I know tribal dance is from Northern California, I believe, or Seattle, something like that. That's tribal dance is from the United States. It takes basically movement elements from belly dance. It changes a little, makes a few changes, and it has basically it's a group dance where the dance leader. They have certain specific protocols where they initiate certain movements that lead into the other. So it's live, improvised, with a certain vocabulary that leads into certain improvisations.
Sounds like
So
to me.
so basically it's really nice to watch. Their costumes are different than the classic belly dance that you see. And it looks very nice, actually. Personally, I prefer to watch it than do it. I'm more into classic belly dance, to be honest, the traditional stuff. Which, to tell the truth, even in the classic belly dance, the costumes you see nowadays with the belly out, it's not how it was originally done. That's already a change that has been made based on the Paris dances and the Hollywood dances, with the big headdresses. When you see the Moulin Rouge stuff, that was already taken from that.
This quickly segued into a deep dive into belly dancing.
Sorry, girls. I'm like...
All right, real quick, though.
Here's
Real
the
quick.
theory.
Go ahead, Hillbilly.
Here's the conspiracy theory to throw in there. Have you ever seen an ugly belly dancer?
I don't think you can ever see an ugly belly dancer because I believe that no matter what a belly dancer looks, they always look fabulous. They look like incredible divas. Like you end up loving the dance, the way they express themselves. That, whether they have their hair out of place, they don't have the perfect body, it doesn't mean they are perfect the way they are.
The emotion in the dance, because you can
The emotion is like, it doesn't matter what, how old you are. It doesn't matter what your body type is. It doesn't matter. I have seen belly dancers like dressed in full kaftans, no makeup on, just swinging their hair, cutting loose, look amazing, and you're like, she's absolutely gorgeous, and no makeup on. It's really when they get into that dance zone, they bring out this vibe that it's like I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Like I've seen various YouTube videos and people performing even live, and you're like, she's amazing, she's gorgeous. So you never see anybody that you say like, oh no.
It's the emotion, because you can watch other dances and maybe it's just something you don't connect with, but then you start like dissecting the person doing the dance, but if you see somebody that's really invested emotionally into what they're doing, they're always beautiful.
Yeah, it's
So-
and to tell the truth,
The-
when it comes to
It's the inner-
dance,
The inner beauty comes out.
Yeah, it's that
yeah,
inner-
exactly. And when you dance, and I know that Heather agrees with me, the dancing part is basically, and this again, I believe is like biofield and everything,
Mhm.
how you convey emotion. So when you're in front of an audience, like what you're giving there is not blind movements, just it's not technical. What you're doing, you're basically expanding your biofield
Yeah. It's an
into the
energy
people
swap.
in front of you. Yeah. You're basically expanding yourself, your biofield into your audience, and they have to feel you. That's the thing. That's the whole thing. And it's like in everything in life, I think, it's about bringing out your biofield and have other people feel you. So.
And Jamie is going to lead the male belly dancing side of things. He is really stoked and has said nothing but nice things about this conversation. Jamie, I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with your male belly dancing classes. But real quick, before we continue on, Lisa, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I got there eventually.
There's still a little lag in the video, but as long as the audio is good, we're good.
Cool. From sunny UK.
Oh, so you're where Skynet is located now, or not that?
Absolutely.
So there's the Chinese Skynet, and then there's the other company that's more like the actual Skynet and Terminator in the UK, apparently. Do you know what it's called?
Absolutely.
Do you know what it's called there?
Skynet.
It's fucking called Skynet there?
I'm sure it is, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be universal, right? Because they want everybody to be on the same anyway. So and they always, these names, man. It's either some kind of Greek god or freaking this shit. It's always.
Goes back to the Egyptians or Romans or something all the time.
That's why I call it programming, not necessarily predictive, but programming for sure.
Right. Jamie is he's frying balls, and he's talking about male belly dancers' balls. He's very strange, Jamie.
He got triggered.
He's just losing his mind about the idea of male belly
Sabrina.
dancers. He doesn't want it in his head at all.
Right.
There's my head. I have
She was traumatized and laughed out.
On that note, should we play the video?
Can I set up the video?
You should probably set up the video.
I felt left out because everybody, goes after Sabrina because they're all the time like, what are you wearing? What do you have on? But yeah, and then of course with Dawn Christine, they were saying, you only get the attention because of the bountiful bosoms. I was feeling very left out because nobody was paying me that attention. And it's very important that I do tell people how smart and intelligent Sabrina is. So if you got to get the bosoms flowing, I'll do it. And so I did my best to do a little commercial for Sabrina. She stopped by and saw me yesterday on the way home. I can tell you that now. And we did a little commercial.
And here it is.
It has come to my attention that I do not garner the same type of amorous affection that others do. And it's because I had pec muscles before I had tatas. I would just like to say, come here. This woman is very smart. She knows exactly what she's talking about, and you should listen to her. Thank you. You do what you gotta do.
Listen, is this what I'm going to do to get your attention?
I'm trying real hard.
Oh god.
You got to start belly dancing.
Oh my god, that's so freaking funny. I'm so glad we got to share that.
Hysterical.
People are freaking losing it. So freaking good. Oh my gosh. Dig old biddies. Oh man.
That's more Jamie's speed, I think.
Yes, Jamie's happy again. All right, good.
can help you.
Needed that reset.
Let's go to Lisa. Your response to that video.
Number one, it was wonderful. Number two, it was hilarious. And number three, it was very relevant.
I think so too.
It was absolutely fabulous.
I was with my whole family, so like my sister and my nieces and stuff, when she sent me that. And so I was listening to it on low speed, but everybody could kind of hear, and they're like, what is that? And so I did share it with my mom. And we were laughing so hard.
She probably loves me more now than ever, doesn't she?
Oh God, it was so good. So good. She loves you. That was great. Ame K, what do you think of that?
First of all, I'm very impressed because I can't do that, but I'm quite a bit older than you. But dang, sister, how do you do that?
And I can't even do the pet thing that you got. You're freaking.
That's what I'm talking about. The pet thing, like
I halter broke show cattle from the time I was like 12 and lifted weights. So I was benching like 150 when I was 14.
wow.
And hanging on to like 800-pound bull calves, trying to teach them how to lead. So I was quite the Amazon in my younger years, but I'm so domesticated now. It's kind of scary.
Oh my gosh! You still
that was
got that
impressive.
muscle though.
A little bit of it, not a lot left, but a little bit.
Well, you have control over it. I'm just like, dang. And then that little like, poof, you give that last little, it's like at the biofilm classes, you do the, or the, and you disconnect kind of thing. It was like you finished and you released that last little bit of the biofilm.
I use it as punctuation.
That was the release of the Tata power.
But I can make Sabrina embarrassed, which cracks me up. Cracks me up.
Sabrina's like, why? Hey, in some ways, it's getting her. Not getting her back. It adds to the video that Sabrina did with Dawn Christine, because Dawn Christine gets it a lot on the Facebook, and so Sabrina had to make a little video with Dawn, and Dawn the whole time just standing there like, oh God, what are we doing? And so in this case, Sabrina's standing there like, oh dear Lord, what is happening?
Nobody ever picks on me, and I was like, I'm feeling left out, guys. I have these things too. So, just thought I'd join in.
There you go. Oh my gosh, that's freaking hilarious.
It was voluntary piloerection.
Pew, pew.
Janet, where is your video? Looking forward to it.
Oh.
Hey, listen, if we get a new group of chubby chasers, it's all my fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
don't scare people off, okay?
Might be a whole nother movement of trolls coming in on that one. Lately, they've been once again, Dawn and Sabrina have been getting the accusations of transgender and all that kind of stuff. They have penises and they're born male and all that kind of stuff. The internet is crazy, y'all. It's crazy, and that's what I've been trying to figure out what's true, what's not. Because I fell for a lot of this stuff for a long time. But yes, I'm looking forward to Janet's video coming hot to you soon. I'll live premiere it. It'll be world premiere. Janet.
You created a monster.
I'm just playing.
Tatas, but I can't match the moves.
Oh my gosh. You're gonna have to start making your own dolls, Liz. People are gonna want Liz tatas. Like they're gonna want the doll.
Liz and I discussed this because I told her, I said, these dolls are so unique that even though if they don't go worldwide, so to speak, within our own community, they mean so much to all of us because in some way it's kind of like a hopium because you've got a little, like you call it, the band, right? So, I mean, those two are going to go with my Sabrina doll. And I just think it'll make a nice, they sit in my hall. So it sort of protects my whole house because my hall runs front to back. And I'm looking so forward to it. She's been filling me in on all of the little idiosyncrasies that she's been putting into these dolls. Now, my next question, Liz, is how's the lizard?
Well, I'm gonna claim it on my taxes as a dependent because I can't find it.
Oh, you're kidding? Still?
He's still in here somewhere. I'm just waiting.
Yes, we gave a warning, Janet, before you came on that if Liz all of a sudden just disappears from the screen, it's because she saw that lizard and she's got to catch that damn thing.
Well,
So
she dropped her in the other
that's
night.
what that.
It's out of her.
But yes, everybody's gonna want the Liz Tata's doll now. Liz, you're gonna be busy for like forever, and I know you got like fall coming up. So aren't you busy doing like stuff for that?
We have some fall markets. I'm working on the possum right now. But once we get done with the fall markets, we have like 5 weekends in a row from September through October. But after we get through with that, I can start going back to the people that want a doll, getting them done again. But doing a doll for me would take me literally 10 hours just to put all my ink on it.
Wow.
Well, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to do that or not.
Maybe the lizard will become its own thing. Maybe every once in a while when you're doing your crochet videos and stuff like that, it'll just scurry across like the wall behind you, and it'll just make his little like cameo every once in a while, and then you'll have lizard dolls that you'll have to make.
I'm married to a trapper, and I'm like, get this lizard out of my house. So he like brings home those giant glue sticks from his work yesterday, and he like throws them under my kitchen hutch, and he's like, just don't sweep and step on them, Reno. And I'm like, I remember they're there. But he will put like 25 hours into a coyote or, beaver or otter. And I get 2 glue traps in 2 minutes. And I'm like, dude, 24 years of marriage, I should garner a little bit more than that.
Look at the kitty. Oh, we saw the kitty. Come on, kitty.
He's like, oh,
he's like, what the fuck is going on? Do the.
That's Churro.
I want to see him do the.
I didn't put him there. He just likes to be on camera.
Yeah, what's up, Churro?
Another. Oh, there we got another one. Yes, that's a happy kitty.
Aww.
That's a laid back cat.
That cat's just chilling.
They just want some screen time.
Right. And then Janet, whenever you want to talk, just unmute and then say something. I only mute because of the fan. Man, this went in ways I didn't expect, but this might as well be called. We should change it. There should be Booma Community Streamas, and there should be the Booma Babes, because it's like a panel of babes.
Well, on Terminator.
Okay, that's where I was going.
China, the robot fights. They put these very expensive robots in the ring, and they fight until one of them basically kills the other, makes it non-functioning.
Damn.
It's like the biggest sport now in China, and like they gamble on it, they bet on it. And who did a video of it the other day? Somebody did a video. Might have been Tim Pool. And you can see like how elaborate these robots are, but then you can also see how they have some very kind of derpy, like, how did you not catch that breakdown spot, And so there's just some really big gaps in the overall mechanics of it all, but it's amazing to watch these robots fight because they're human size and in a ring. And it's kind of creepy. It's really creepy.
This is the robot fighting?
The robots fight each other, yes.
Yes, I'm gonna actually pull it up. I had wanted to show that, and then it didn't happen on I think it might have been the last community streamer.
Did you? Sorry to interrupt. I don't know if I didn't know I hit. I wanted to say quickly that have you seen the robots that hit the kids also during a robot show?
Yep, kicked him in the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think there's gonna be more of that happening because
no one even did anything. That thing should have been disabled like right away.
Yep. To me that was unbelievable. I think there's gonna be more of that happening because I have to tell the truth. Technology is technology. It's not perfect. There's always glitches. Plus, it's easy to hack and everything. So I believe there's going to be more and more of these incidences. Definitely.
Well, there's no human component. There's no emotion. There's no empathy. They don't know the difference between right and wrong. What a human.
Well, yeah.
You can only program it so much.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
only persuasion they get is the human persuasion, which is normally negative.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I see. That's the one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Dang, he took it hard too.
But
Wow.
I also heard that the robots basically they need a handler, somebody that's basically doing their movements and they replicate them hidden away. So are these robots acting independently or are they still connected to a trainer, a handler? That's what I would
Well,
like to know because if this robot acted independently, then you have to say, oh boy, this is not going in the right direction. But if there's a handler that's doing this, it means the guy actually, a human, did this purposely to injure a child.
Which isn't,
or it was in, it got off course of its path and the kid was out too far and it just like, but then it couldn't stop it or something. I mean, I'd like to try and think that if somebody was controlling it, that was an accident.
But if somebody was controlling, too close to the public too.
Yeah, but I don't think any of those can operate on their own at this point. Some of the videos that I've watched, maybe 5-6 months ago, were saying that they haven't got the science down enough where those things can operate without a human behind them. Even though they think they're telling you that this thing's operating on its own, because even with Musk's stuff and things like that, even with the driverless cars, there's at least 1.5 people behind each driverless car driving those vehicles, even though they say that there's nobody there. So I don't think that was an act of a robot only. I think there was somebody behind that had to have done that. There's, yeah,
So
because they have the ones out of China that are supposedly like they're marketing them for like elderly care, where like they can do the elderly people's like laundry and stuff like that and grab things for them and whatnot, but they're all controlled remotely from China by somebody.
It doesn't even make sense because it's not cost effective to do that. Like, why wouldn't you just have somebody right there in the home rather than somebody's still controlling that thing? So why not have the real person there? It's just stupid.
It makes you wonder what the purpose is of the whole thing, right? Because you say, how cost effective is this? Why would they do such thing?
Yeah, if it takes 1.5 people to manpower a job of one person, how could that possibly be cost effective?
Exactly. So it makes you wonder what is the whole purpose, because who wants to pay these many people to, probably underpay anyway, these many people to use these robots, say so many people buy them, they need to hire so many people to run them, right?
Mm-hmm.
That it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Unless they're going to use the robots as like an invasive species in our homes and lives to then further acquire information control.
Exactly.
But there was from Europe somewhere that had created another kind of robot, and he said even his could not work independently, and he had pretty sophisticated ones, like his the fingers actually worked better than a lot of the other ones that are out there. I just can't remember what his name was, but he had one in his house. The challenge I have with all of that is, of course, you're seeing your entire environment. They're knowing what you're eating. They're knowing what you're doing every minute of every day. So I can't see how anybody would want that kind of invasion in their life.
Yep. And Tesla's Pearls, I think is how you say it. Either way, I was talking about Rock'em Sock'em robots. Who doesn't remember those from our childhoods? Those popped up. You just push the buttons. They were all like punching each other, and like the head would pop up once you knock the other one out. They were all over the place.
That's what made me giggle, because the robots that actually fought, the one won because the one's head came off.
Right, and I'm gonna try to pull that up. I'm just trying to find the good video of it.
They said that they programmed the maneuvers into their bodies, but they have like a camera, or like they have their eye on their chest, and that they have the maneuvers programmed into them, but they automatically on their own choose how to fight their opponent. So the people program them, but when they're in the ring, apparently they're doing it on their own. which is kind of
Really?
creepy. Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
Here
Really
they are.
Yeah, they spin on their waist to get up. It's creepy.
Sorry, I'm not making fun of them. It's just can't help myself.
They even do little funny victory dances.
Right? They do like little mocking things and stuff like that. I watched it. It's fucking creepy. Like this is like training Terminator. Like this is literally training. I mean, I'm sure that they have military models that are far beyond this. They want the public to not know about. Look at how that thing just sprung up.
Mm-hmm. When they spin at the waist and spin, you know, that creeps me out.
What is this, a ref down here?
Yeah, what are
Okay,
those
they
hand
gave him
signals?
win. They gave him a win on that. Now let's get farther around when he kicks his freaking head off. Oh, his head's already loose.
Yeah.
Let's get back. Let's go back. So his head's fine right now. Something at some point, his head
He
gets.
gets an initial kick, and then I think he does more damage to himself trying to get up and away from the other robot.
This is Terminator, folks. Without guns yet.
Here's your future military police right there.
Yeah, that's Demolition Man police right there.
Yeah.
Well, at the point of Demolition Man, they don't even need these anymore because everyone's so subdued.
Oh, yeah.
When they get up like that, it creeps me out.
Look at that.
Me too. I was just gonna say that. That looks so freaking crazy, and it looks like they're the marionette dolls. Like
his left foot is damaged, I think.
Yeah, that one's messed up. I think they might have to bring in a different model, and then this one's taunting it as a win. Where is it? Gets his head kicked off. There it is. Oh no, that's not it. It's close.
And it's so funny because when it gets its head backwards and it messes its computer up, it can't see and it starts fighting backwards. Which I thought was
Oh, there his head's flopping around. Okay, so it must have knocked its own head like kind of loose.
Yeah, and it kind of takes its own head off at the very end. But now it's completely discombobulated.
Oh my gosh.
But this is what we use millions of dollars of tech and research on, y'all.
Right.
No, billions of dollars.
Can't you just see this playing out, though, where the police, you know, they defund the police to the point where they can barely do anything, and then crime is going to be rampant. So they're going to usher in the solution, which is these guys right here.
Mm-hmm.
Got one word.
Well, it's like we
Look.
can't trust humans to make the right decision, so they're gonna bring in this robot who's controlled by fucking humans.
Mm-hmm.
At first.
Yeah, at first, maybe not all the time.
That was the premise of
Eventually, they'll
Robocop.
be autonomous.
Everybody get you 12 gauge and get you some double aught.
To start off with, and then they'll freaking. It's just going to be a war of. That's why I have it like in this, like we're dissidents and whatnot. But they'll just keep making different models. It's just like when you watch the first Terminator, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it was creepy because he'd like lose an arm and still becoming just as strong as he was before, but without an extra arm. And it was just like you can't stop this thing, no matter how damaged the damn thing is. It just keeps coming. And like you've seen those Robo Dogs, where the same thing, like they can kick it over and it'll fall and then it'll get right back up, or it'll catch itself and stop from falling because it's like got such a good programming of physics into it. And just imagine what they really have for the military. That's just what they're showing us.
Right.
Part of the power of what those do to people and part of the control that it puts in you mentally is because there's a place in your brain that when something is not quite right, it's called the uncanny valley. And when your brain sees something that's not quite right and you go into that weird space where you know something's not right and you apprehensive, that's called the uncanny valley. And when you're in the uncanny valley, you're so susceptible because it's hard to make decisions, because you don't know what you're up against. You can't understand your environment. And I think they're kind of betting on putting us in that uncanny valley and kind of getting us off kilter so that they get more control.
Right. So just remember, during a zombie apocalypse, you got to aim for the head, but with these guys, you're going to have to aim for the legs.
Well, find the camera
Find a camera first. Shoot out their legs. I don't know.
I suppose their soft spots would be similar to ours, where you got your elbow, you know, your pressure points.
Yeah, I guess it depends if it's carrying guns at that point or what's going on, but they're gonna make these damn things bulletproof, so we're gonna need more than that, Liz. Your guys are gonna have to come up with some more powerful weapons for us.
Well, and like with Terminator, where it's a liquid metal, and you
Yeah.
it just repairs itself basically.
I wondered when we're going to get there, because you know they're already trying.
The back and the knees. And you know what? That's when in the fight scene in the Terminator, they were kind of showing that too. Like, I think there was one point where Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, and he took him out at the knees, the back of the knees. So like where all like the ligaments and tendons would be, and then you disable those so they can't run after you at least. But then like if they can repair themselves or if they have a weapon,
You
plasma. They talk about plasma weapons in that a lot too.
Yeah, our venous system would probably mirror their surgery system.
I watched
Yeah.
that Bloodshot movie
Right.
that I think it was Monica recommended too. And that's where they shot something into his system. And literally, if his face got blown off, all of the nanotechnology would come back and rebuild his face. Did you watch that movie at all with all that technology? Like, it didn't matter what they did to him. Like they would damage his arms, and all of a sudden you would see this black stuff on the outside of his body, and everything would just heal itself and go back into play. It was pretty
Oh my god.
hard to watch when he shot his face off halfway, and then just all this stuff coming, and then his face is as good as new.
Right? If we didn't have psychopaths
Thank you.
running the world, we could have robot belly dancing. Instead, we're gonna have
It's never
Terminator.
gonna be the same.
What's
I
up,
don't think
Robots don't
Lionessroars?
jiggle that way.
Welcome to the
I don't-
show.
I don't think any of them have the dexterity that would be
We
required
can't
to
hear you,
build up those
Lionessroars.
We can't hear you. It shows that you're unmuted. It might
You
be
might have to-
settings in your device.
Right.
You might need to allow.
You might have to talk to Lisa about it because she just went through the similar thing. Lisa, are you still there?
I'm still here. There's a bit of a lag, I think.
Yeah, it looks like your screen might be frozen.
I'm still here.
Okay. Try to get Lionessroars. We still can't hear you. You either gotta figure out the audio thing, drop out and come back in, try that, and then have Heather guide you. Heather's contacting you probably on Telegram, so you might want to communicate with her a little bit. Anyways, getting back to this, yes, Liz, we're gonna need some more powerful fire. Is that you, Lionessroars?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep. You have a
Yay.
little bit of
Yeah,
lag,
we
too.
gotcha.
You're
How's
always
the
down in
delay?
your bunker. You're always down in your bunker where your internet's not very good, Lionessroars.
I'm hardwired. I'm like Charlie, so yeah,
Well, you hardwired with like dial-up or something.
yeah. Well, I don't know. That's a good question. I never really asked Xfinity what the deal is. I just have my little router plugged
Okay,
in.
well, you got to stay safe, and we understand that, especially with what all Charlie's taught us. So you and Lisa's your videos aren't necessarily up to speed, but as long as the audio is working good, we can rock and roll with that.
Awesome.
Awesome, but welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank
So
you.
I didn't even know about Bloodshot. That's taken Terminator to the next level as far as like nano repairs, like instantly like fixing anything that you do to it. So we're gonna have to blow these things to smithereens. So we're gonna need those like kind of bullets. And I'm talking to Liz here.
Tannerite.
Liz, what?
Tannerite.
What is that?
What's that?
Redneck nape.
Redneck napalm? Yes. We also need bullets like hit, and then they explode at a certain time after they've made their like connection.
Oh, kind
Hand
of like
grenades.
a loaded, a secondary action hollow point.
Hollow points would be a good idea.
But a hollow point that exploded that had something else in it that exploded, that would be great.
Right. And that would give us time to get away at least.
If I'm not on at least 5 watch lists now, something's wrong.
I think the Tatas video keeps you safe.
They leave me alone.
That's how it works, right? Oh, all right. Heather, where are you at?
I'm right here.
Are we good? Can we continue with your thorough research that you did yesterday?
Oh, thorough research.
You watched a couple of the Terminators at like 2 times speed. Is that the only movies you watched, or did you watch some of the other ones we have on the list?
Well, no, I watched some of the trailers on the list that I sent you, and there was it's kind of a similar theme with them, with like technology and kind of showing us back in the 80s and 90s, basically kind of where they were going and what they had. I was really looking for like recaps and stuff too, and I watched a couple, but they're just recapping like the storyline of it. They're not like going to detail the way I wanted. Like I wanted to hear like Skynet opened in 1997 in that movie, things like that. But I didn't find so much of that. But apparently, Terminator is the prequel to The Matrix. So there was one video I saw. It was like Terminator versus Matrix, but apparently Neo is John Connor. I don't know if it's John Connor or John Connor's Jr. I don't know how I was trying to figure out the timeline.
JC. I've heard there's the woman that there's multiple people that claim to have written The Matrix or the original script for The Matrix. There's a guy out there, but I don't really trust him so much because he just huddles up with all the grifters. But there's a woman out there that did win even a lawsuit for some royalties. She claims that the reason she wrote it the way that she wrote it is that John Connor, JC, Jesus Christ, she wrote that into Terminator and then carried it forward with the Neo character in The Matrix to be the savior.
The
One.
one.
The archetyped. The one. Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, it kind of matches up because it's basically they build this AI system. It gets out of control. It takes over the Rise Against the Machines, thinks it knows better. And then some people go underground or, like the rebellion. And then it all kind of leads up to the Matrix where they're actually in these pods and they're being used as batteries. So it's kind of interesting, but so we don't know who actually wrote The Matrix. That is something that they didn't disclose.
It's there's like multiple people that have taken, like there's like a higher Hollywood kind of person that took credit for it or that they gave credit for it. And then there's challengers that say that they wrote it and it was stolen from them.
I think Hollywood does a lot of stuff.
Yes. Anything that's like blows up and makes tons of money, that you're going to have people coming out saying that. Or they have like a variation of a script that they would say was similar, but it's not. But this woman made a good point that it was the most convincing as far as the archetype goes of making John Connor for the initials JC, and then to have written The Matrix the way that she did to make it, in the one. Now the newest Matrix, I think, was like, what was it, Revolution or something like that? I think that was like, I don't think that was part of like her idea or whatever. That was just them. But it was like the Wachowski brothers that directed it are now the Wachowski sisters. And then only one of the sisters was a director in the final one that they made. What's up, Jackie? You guys don't know about that? The Wachowski brothers? Oh my gosh. I gotta bring you guys up to speed on that.
Another rabbit hole?
Yep. Wachowski. How the heck do you say that?
Isn't it kind of funny though that Keanu Reeves been in all these, Matrix videos? or movies, but he openly stays away from a lot of technology and other stuff that people flock to. Like he's one of the more reserved and distances himself from a lot of that stuff. And it makes you wonder, maybe he got in on some info when he was doing the movies that the rest of us need to see.
Yeah, probably scared the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Matrix first started, this is what these guys were like.
No.
And then after the Matrix, this is what they became.
Oh, my
Well, isn't that freaking fascinating?
God. What the hell?
Yep.
Fucking people.
I learned all I needed to know watching Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other.
Ah!
All part of the machine, man. That's the craziness of this whole thing. And then we'll get back to some of that stuff. But I got Lionessroars. What is the Revolution series?
Yeah, it was just called Revolution. And at the beginning, the electric grid goes dark in the whole world. And planes are crashing and things are, just totally berserk. And then the United States breaks into 3 different countries. And there's these pendants and these scientists that have, I guess, free energy. And they're searching to put these pendants together. And then there's certain people where they show the nano. Yeah, that's it. Highly recommend it. That's what I would love to see happen. The whole grid go down and we just go back to burlap sacks and raising our own food.
What platform is that on?
I think it was just regular television. I'm not sure what it was on first.
Prime Video is where you can watch it now. So if you have Amazon Prime, looks like you can watch it, and then you can buy it on the other ones.
But it's fascinating that it shows the nano,
Shows the nano in that one. I saw a couple of characters that I wouldn't have realized were in those kinds of things, because the one gentleman showed up in Breaking Bad, the black character that is right. I guess his name is it's this guy right here. He shows up in Breaking Bad, and that's when I thought he had his breakout role. And then some of these guys, Billy Burke, I've seen him before. I might have watched a little bit of this. Elizabeth Mitchell, she's been in some stuff. Interesting.
Yeah, she's really great in this. Yeah,
she was in
highly
Lost.
Recommend. I watched Lost too. That was wild. That showed the black smoke. That was
Lost. That's right.
We started it when it first came out, and then we dropped off, and then we just recently watched it, like last year, all of it straight through. And I believe she was in that. She looks familiar.
I believe Amazon bought up Whole Foods. Just if you guys didn't know, I'm not into Whole Foods. We don't even have one here, but
we don't either.
I'm gonna make sure that that's correct, so I don't say stupid shit, which I say often, but I don't mean to get into.
That was a while ago.
Right.
That might have been a couple of years already. Yeah.
Dorian, I sent you the
2017. They bought it for $13.7 billion. Look who's in the house. What's up, Biscuit?
What's up, Mr. Biscuit?
Oh no, he's following me.
It's Whole Foods now with no W. What were you saying, Heather?
I sent you the trailer. They're doing a Terminator 7. I think it's August 3rd, 2027. I think that they said that they were going to.
It's got John Cena in it.
Yeah, and Keanu Reeves.
Really?
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
Yes, and Keanu Reeves. The problem is that I can't play the trailers on here because I'll get taken down off of YouTube.
Why?
Liz, you need to show Biscuits his head.
Oh, well, he doesn't have good glasses on. It's just my pair I broke that I used to measure the eyeballs. Biscuits, look, I found an even better formula for you. Look at that. Isn't it pretty?
Nice hair.
It took me 3 hours.
It's perfect.
It took me 3
She's
hours.
being far too kind to you, Biscuits. Far too
Look
kind
at all
with
that
hair.
hair.
But let me pull up Terminator 7, but just pictures. Because like I said, when you get to YouTube, they have copyright on everything. You can't make money off, or you can't build a platform off of that kind of stuff. They might allow it to stay up, but then they hit me with a copyright thing, and then it becomes an issue. It's just a thing. But here you are. So here's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, they got Jake Gyllenhaal in this thing too? Oh my gosh.
I have a hard time watching him.
Right. Or is this real? They got The Rock in there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's basically like, I know
Sarah
John
Connor's
Cena, they like sort of like cryogenically, they don't freeze them, but they're like in this tank, and sort of similar to Demolition Man, where they have them like just set aside and then they bring them back to do this mission or whatever. And it's interesting because one of the girls that right there, the
this one,
I think it's that one. I don't have my glasses on. There's a girl in there that's like saying she's not machine, but she's not human, and she's got like superhuman kind of strengths and stuff, so she can fight with the Terminators, but she can also be damaged. Like I don't know. To me, it's just they're going more into like the hybrid situation, and what is it to be really human? Who is really human anymore? Because they've all integrated and they're living among the machines are living amongst the humans again.
Did you hear about the third guy that got the Neuralink? He has Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS, and
no,
he was the third guy that got the Neuralink from
Elon.
And they did a story on him the other day, and oh my gosh, I should have bookmarked it, dadgummit. But it's providing him some ease and helping him manage all of his like communication, because he does everything with his eyes, his communication devices and stuff with his family. So it's telling, like, it's showing the bright points of Neuralink and, you know, the helpful points, but no one's talking about the bad parts that could happen yet. So
that's what they're going to do. They're going to make it. I mean, the technology can be used for good. That's the problem. Now, if you keep letting the technology grow, obviously it's always going to get out of hand. I don't see how you can ever say that you would ever have safe technology if you let it extrapolate and continue to move forward, even if you had good intentions. The Rock was like the biggest thing in Hollywood for a while, but his movies became kind of corny.
Yeah, he wore a dress to an event the other day.
Oh, dear Lord. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. The Wachowski brothers became the Wachowski sisters, and all that shit's always going on. It's a humiliation ritual as well when they get them to wear dresses.
That's what makes me think. What it makes me think of, yeah.
But don't you think that some of these new movies, they're just taking old stuff and just regurgitating it? Like, why would they need 7 Terminator movies? I don't understand that. Like, we were talking the other day on Heather's chat about $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman, and just how, I mean, that was, oh my Lord, that was way back when. I mean, probably when I was a teenager, not even a teenager yet, that those were out there with the bionic eyes. And, you know, I think Steve Austin was able to run really fast and Jamie could jump really high. And so, I mean, this stuff has been out forever, but it's like they really need you to understand that there's no end to this. But I can't watch all of these 5, 6, 7, 8 parts of some of this stuff. I just sort of think it's a waste of time watching it. It's just
there's nothing original anymore.
Exactly. Yeah,
they recalibrate it for the youth because they have to pull them in,
capture a new audience.
There's been advancements, so we have to keep moving them forward and keeping them, you know, invested in the storyline, because the youth are going to hold the key of whether this whole transhumanism is successful to the way that they want it to be or not.
I'm like, why watch the movies? It's all happening in real life.
That's right.
So why would I want to torture myself and watch it in the movies to pay money to go see it if I get it for free in real life, you know?
And it is torture watching them. Like
Yeah.
I've been watching some of the movies that Mark put up there and I mean a couple of them were cartoons from Disney and stuff like that. I sort of think I don't normally watch cartoons. Why am I spending this time because someone suggested that these might be worth watching? But I mean, it's like you get so fed up. I mean, that Running Man one it stopped near the end, so I don't know how it ended. But I mean, even that one, the types of characters that they put in front of them to kill them, it's like who carries a chainsaw like that, and who chases somebody around? Who's got these little rocket packs on their back and has flames coming out of their arms? And it's like, seriously, how dumbed down do people have to be to watch this stuff?
I guess
Well, if they get you early,
augmented humans have that.
yeah.
You think so?
Young enough, look at what they can do. How many of us wanted to be Wonder Woman when we were little?
Yeah.
I wanted to be Wonder Woman. I even spun so much in my granny's yard that I like made myself sick. So it's a lot of it is just if they can get it into the mind young enough and create those neurosynaptic pathways that absorb and accept this stuff, then they've got a more flexible adult.
I don't even. We watch a lot of movies, our regularly scheduled programming, but a lot of them are foreign because we can't even. The Hollywood movies are terrible. They're just terrible. Like you say, they're just recycled or regurgitated superhero movies or Matrix movies or Terminator movies, and it's just like they do not have an original script in their hands in Hollywood anymore. You have to watch the foreign movies now because they're just horrible in Hollywood. I swear half of them are gone anyways. It's just probably AI images of these people putting it out there. And then when you do see them in a movie, it's like they stop trying. It's the dumbest movie ever. Like they're not even acting good, and you always thought of them as good actors. Wish I could remember the one we saw the other night that was like that. It's
Yeah.
I agree.
They had really good movies in the 90s and stuff. I thought the plots
Yeah.
and stuff like that still worked, and they had really creative ways of doing it. Now they get lazy with stuff. And then I think, like we were saying earlier, I'm pretty sure China owns a bunch of Hollywood. All these foreign places own it, and so they just want what they know is going to make their money back and a little bit more. And then they have the programming aspect, like Liz was saying, where they want the new youth to be exposed to these things. Now, the new youth might not even watch a full movie because they can't have an attention span to even watch it, a lot of them. But they'll get clips from it. They'll see clips from it, and they'll see enough of it to see where what the programming is and what the point of the whole movie was, and then they'll just freaking basically have a download of what it's about, and they'll still get it into their brain and enough of the visuals to be a construct.
If you'll notice, a lot of the new movies and a lot of the new shows that are on, they're shot in that vertical so that it can be turned into shorts easily.
Yes,
right. So they don't waste all that space. So, I mean, they tell them themselves. But kids are, what bothers me about what people watch now on TV, because I have to seek something out to watch it because I don't have satellite or anything. I watch YouTube and the old on Tubi and Freevee and stuff like that. I watch the old shows. But I started listening on a recommendation for a show site because I was looking for a new miniseries while I crochet. And somebody was like, well, you need to watch Outlander and Blood of My Blood. I got through some of Outlander, but I kept having to fast forward because they're just like rabbits. The storyline's okay, but it's rabbits. And I'm sitting there going, fast forward again. I got really tired of it. So I thought, well, I'll go to this Blood of My Blood since I know enough now to understand what it's based on. So I went to Blood, and I had a 7-day free trial on Star, so I was really trying to milk it. So I go to Blood of My Blood. Literally in the first episode, I was like, why are adult people watching this? And why do they keep making this? But it is, we're reverting back to well, it's kind of like a regression, and we're going back in, kind of like cave people. We're going back into those
Primal.
meeting just those primal needs and nothing else. And so you've got to imagine what our youth are going to be like in the next 10, 20 years.
Right. And they're pushing everybody towards shorter content and podcasting. A lot of these celebrities are now just showing up on podcasts and stuff. So they know a lot of the youth don't give a shit about watching like the full movies hardly anymore. Some of them always will. And then those of us that grew up on them can't kind of help ourselves, or we will still watch them. I like to say that I watch them for research purposes, but I love being entertained. I like being entertained and watching something and forgetting about everything else for a little while. But maybe that's part of the trick of getting you sucked into the magic show. I don't know what it is, but I wanted to be in it. I was part of like working on like a full feature film. Now it didn't become anything, and it was just a small little deal that we were making in Spokane, Washington when I was a kid. But I wanted to be in that world because I always thought that when I started to like have a faith in God, I always thought like Christian movies and all that kind of stuff sucks. And so I wanted to make stuff that inspired. Now I'm doing a podcast, and I got, I say some bad words now and then, and I got my own style or whatnot. I don't have a faith like a bubblegum Christian, but I believe that there's a way to at least be able to speak to people in spiritual terms, and then bring people that don't have the same faith together. And that was kind of always what I wanted to be a part of. So I'm kind of doing it in a way. But I always wanted to make skits. I wanted to make movies and like maybe even short clips of stuff. And so I always appreciated them. And now when the more you learn about it, it's like, fuck, man, I wish in a way we could just turn it all off.
I do.
What happened to the movies like Brat Patrol and The Explorers? Have y'all watched this when Ethan Hawke was little and River Phoenix was little? They were in a movie called The Explorers, where they got an old tilt-a-whirl thing, turned it to a spaceship, and went to outer space. And they realized that the aliens were just stupid. It was really cute, but they all learned lessons and grew through the movie. And and then what? Brat Patrol, they all had to work together to overcome they were all military brats, and they had to work together to overcome new rules that they were basically going to oppress the kids on the military bases. But they all had like, you work together to overcome something negative with a positive. And that's not in anything anymore. There's no script like that anymore.
No, there isn't. And I find that when I'm watching movies now, I'm constantly either looking for symbolism or it's jumping out at me all the time. So it's like, I'm not really being entertained so much as I am being educated. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's, I'm crazy. I'm a lot like the kids nowadays, because my husband will have a movie playing. I'll have my iPad sitting on my lap with the volume just going through like one earbud and listening to one of Booma's videos and reading the chat at the same time and answering. And I'm like, I totally have ADD. I totally have it. I mean, I feel like I'm multitasking all the time because I don't want to miss anything.
You're just terribly efficient. Run with that one.
I'll run with that.
There is no Ursula. Ursula has turned into a cat.
Yep, and I still talk. Yeah, this is Chur, of course. He's wherever I go, he goes. So.
ASM meow.
What?
Instead of ASMR, it's ASM meow.
It's perfect.
Keep up with my brain, Booma. Come on.
I don't know what that is.
It's
is that the noise thing? Is that the noise thing where people just hear like the noises?
Mm-hmm. Right. Or they'll tap their fingers.
Or some people have like the voice that they can speak in. That it's like
my daughter loves it. I can't stand it.
Yeah, there are rich people in the world because they chew gum really well. I don't get it, but apparently.
I know. I try so hard, and then I see the stuff that like just blows up, and I'm like, it makes me sad. Makes me sad. Biscuits will figure it out, though. I have faith in Biscuits to figure out the ways of making it happen. I don't know. It's I used to joke that because I was working behind the scenes with a guy or whatever. If people know my story, they do. But he used to act like everything that, like, some things that he'd do would go viral when he'd get like 20,000 views. I'm like, bro, there's like kids that are doing like their booty dances that have like hundreds of thousands of views like in an hour. You're not even making hardly an impact on the world. Stop. Mm-hmm. But they don't grasp it. They're just narcissists, so they think that they're amazing, even if they don't understand like how everything works. Whatever.
But you have your 300.
That's all I ever really wanted, right? You were here when I was saying that? And
I was around. I was around. I think you only had 200, or maybe not even that, when I first came on the scene. So,
gosh, I was
done well.
I was so stoked just to get 300 people subscribed to my Rumble channel.
That's right.
I was like, I'm good here. As long as I have 300, then at least a few people are listening, and I feel like I'm making at least a small impact, and that's all I cared about. And then these assholes just kept making me angry and angry, and I'm like, I have to grow. I have to, just to like have a bigger opportunity to freaking feed it back to these fools. And now I am doing it in some ways.
Look at you go, yeah.
There's like some of the shorts that I've been posting. Some of you, I know a lot of people here are awake to all the lies and all that crap. But if you want something to share simple, if some of your friends or something like that are still listening to a jackass like a Scott McKay or a Michael Jaco, I got some shorts for you that don't include me or nothing. It's just the straight facts that they made false predictions over and over again, because it just makes people excited to hear nice things.
They are brilliant, and I've been sharing them left and right because I still have friends who are all about white hats and Q, and I'm like, here, take a look at this. And it's quick, right?
Right. And Rumble really promotes jackasses like Joe Rambo and Dave of News Treason and Scott McKay and some of these fools. And so when I post those shorts in Rumble, man, there's some people in there that come in. I don't know if they're bots or whatever, but they come in there and they're hating on it. They'll put the thumbs down and whatnot, and they just still believe it. It's like, after all these years, it's been almost 10 years since Q first posted, and all this bullshit really, really kicked off on the alternative. Well, I mean, I guess when Trump came down the golden escalator, a lot of that shit started too, because fake news. People are still just, yeah, it's going to happen any day now. They're all going to get arrested. Oh my gosh.
Somebody asked me if I believed in all that Q stuff and all that. And I said, listen, I said, Q's getting so old. I said, the people that started about to draw the last of the Social Security probably. I said, when's it going to happen?
Exactly.
And they have no answer when I say stuff like that. But I like the trolls, though, because I like to play with trolls. Y'all ever see me play with the trolls that come to my channel? I enjoy it.
Right, you like it. It doesn't bother me as much anymore, but I used to go to war with people, and I used to love going to war with people, but then I was just like, well, they're wasting my time. I like blocking people now. I really love it, because especially when they write a really long comment, and I'm like, man, that took you fucking at least 5 minutes. So then I just delete it in 2 seconds. Because I'm on the fucking internet like all day editing shit and putting like Sabrina videos up and making these shorts and creating things. And so these people will post up and be like, never seen that username. Better go check it out. And sure enough, it's just a dumbass fucking comment. And then I'll just delete it and I'd be like, haha, no one even saw that shit. And you just wasted 5 minutes of your life at least.
But don't you get more upset with the people who are still around you when they're having a conversation with you and you mention something to them? And they say, well, I need to do some research on that and really understand whether or not, it's really what you say it is. And you sort of look at them and you say, like, it's been 6 years now. When do you think that it's time that you actually did the research that you keep telling me you want to do? I said, like, how long do you have to keep using that as an excuse for not moving forward? That's the part that frustrates me. The trolls I could care less about, because if you engage with them, then it becomes an issue. If you leave them alone, then they get tired and they move on. But the people that constantly want to say something that isn't real, and then they don't want to, go and look. They just use a conspiracy thing, or, well, I'll have to look into that when I feel the time is right, and I roll my eyes at it anymore. My bullshit meter's full, and that stuff just irritates me.
But this is the laziest group of adults I think I have ever seen.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
Because I started reading that book and just giving my cliff notes that I taught, you know. And the moment that I got sick and stopped, I completely gave them a link to where another woman would read it to them. But they were too lazy to click on the link, and they kept coming back and saying, well, when are you going to finish the book? I'm waiting. And I'm like, you could have had it read to you a month ago. And
I post, I post Sabrina stuff and information about the WBN and so on. A group that I know the people. Actually, it's their group is, you know, the Where We Go One We Go All. It's a local, you know, it's one in Spain, and I keep on posting stuff like that in their group. And I was basically told by the administrator, "You're very negative. You need to get some help."
Yes. That's what I got when I started fighting these guys. It was, we need to be united, not divided. We need to come together. And it's like, you can't come together when you fucking jackasses are not even paying attention to what's actually going on in the world, and you're waiting for some fairy tale white ass to come and wipe your ass and boop you on the nose. You fucking morons.
Stop being so negative.
Right. It's like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if you need a punch in the face or you need a fucking hug, but either way, one of these options has to work. But none of them do.
United in ignorance, though.
And if you talk about this stuff, you make it happen. No, don't talk about it, because it's like you're living under this cloud because you're creating this horrible world for yourself. Stop being so negative.
What about the ones who just walk around and it's like there's nothing going on here? Everything is fine. They have a problem with their bank account. Oh, it's just the bank. They have something else happen, or, you know, they get locked down in some way or other. They want them to mask up. Like down here right now, when you go into the emergency at the hospital, they want you to mask up. And one of the ladies that I do some volunteer work with says, now I got to mask up when I go into the hospital. And I said, no, you don't. It's not a law. And she says, well, they tell me I have to mask up. And I said, well, have you told them that it's not conducive to your health to wear it? I said, I had to sit in that place for 4 hours waiting for a friend to get out of surgery. They asked me to put it on. I said, no, it's not good for my health. They left me alone. But nobody wants to challenge. Nobody wants to put their foot outside of the box. As long as they can, what is it, go along to get along? They think that's going to be the answer and the way to go. But how can you go along to get out of this? You either have to dip into the water or the outside the box and make a conscious decision that none of this is how you want to live your life. I mean, I have blocked and just literally walked away from so many people because I just can't do it anymore. It's very frustrating to be around people who just really either are so dense at this point because they've been programmed or something, or just don't give a shit. It's not that they're in fear, because the fear comes after you educate them and you give them something and they think, oh my God, what did I do to myself? But I mean, these people are walking around with no fear, no nothing, and just, you know, oh, well, we have to do this, and oh yeah, we have to do that, and oh yeah, we have to take our shot. They have people sitting outside sometimes of all the major stores. Like we got a City Club down here and a Sam's Club, and there's a Costco in Cabo as well. But like people will walk up, stick their arm out, and get shots. Still, they make
do
it
that out of fear, though. It is out of fear that they operate in that way. So, you know, to go along to get along, the reason why they do that is because they are afraid if they don't, they'll be punished. So there is fear behind it. They may put on a good front and say that they're not afraid or maybe act like it. But that's that I see whenever I think I'm getting somewhere with someone, I can literally see it and feel it. It's like that I can feel the fear. I can see their eyes going, doing this, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, you know, what can I do about it? If there's nothing I can do about it, then it's like I'm just gonna ignore it. And if you push it with them, then they start getting mad, and because you are disrupting their idea of reality. And they know you're right.
Fear.
Instinctually, I think a lot of times they know that that's where that fear starts coming in. As soon as they start feeling it build up, they go, nope. And they get mad and they will walk away, or they'll be aggressive with you, or they'll start calling you crazy, or you're being dramatic, or whatever it is, they rationalize it to make themselves feel better. But it originally stems from fear.
Fear of
They don't wanna
not
be
being
alone.
conformist, or
It's
fear
everybody's
of a
different.
thing?
Everybody's different.
Because I think a lot of, because what I see here is a fear of sticking out. Nobody wants to stick out. Everybody wants to go along. Even the people that I was hanging with in 2020, 2021, because they were, waking up. Everybody just wants to be conformist. Nobody wants to stick out. Nobody wants to fight. Nobody wants to do anything different. Everybody wants to just go on, get along. I see that here.
We're groomed that way.
Lisa wants to jump in too. And Lisa, you just got to be aggressive. You've been in the women chat. You just got to speak louder and then not stop talking. Do it. Go.
Sorry, it's hard with the lag. I don't want to interrupt anybody. I've been watching, this Fauci malarkey that's been going on.
Oh, yeah.
And as an outsider from the UK, the biggest thing that stood out to me was the swearing by this. I don't know, is he a congressman, this guy? I don't know who he is. To me, it's just pure pantomime, because in the UK, you wouldn't have people in those environments swearing and using that modern language. So as a UK person watching it, it just all looked absolutely fake to me, because you wouldn't get professional people saying, oh, he's an arsehole, or do you think you're in the shit? It just seems ridiculous.
It is all fake, because under the law, if we were actually going by our own law, which nobody in this country ever does, he would not be able to plead the fifth, because when you're pardoned, you can't incriminate yourself, therefore you cannot plead the fifth.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, Biscuits, I'm sure, would have a lot to say about some of that crap, but it's all theater, and they know it.
It is all theater. Yep.
And my thing about it is, well, it clogs up the, all the conservative media goes nuts, and then the left has to counter that with like, yeah, we love Fauci, saved lives. I've seen all that stuff online, and I'm like, oh my God. It clogs up the news cycle, but it all pisses a lot of people off, because I do think at some point, one of their ideas, I think they have many, but one of their ideas will be to start a civil war. And maybe that comes at the end of Trump, because now you even have Alex Jones. Fuck these guys, all of them. Alex Jones, all these guys that have big names. They have not done shit to tell the actual truth. They've got narratives to run. But for whatever reason, Candace, Alex Jones, and all these people are turning on Trump, and they have quite the influence, right? So Alex Jones is calling for the impeachment or the 25th Amendment on Trump and all this stuff. So now you have division that like I've never seen before, and you have Fauci stuff coming up, causing anger here in America on scales where they're trying to tip it a little bit to see if they can get the blood boiling. Now, there's a lot of NPCs, though. They just don't give a fuck, never going to pay attention to any of the Fauci shit. So I don't know how far it'll go, but I think it's just to induce anger.
And if they would research, they would know Fauci's been making a living out of killing people since the AIDS epidemic. Well,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So I don't get too excited when they say they're going to punish him, because they ain't punished him for anything else yet. So,
he's pardoned.
He's going to go off and live a nice, cushy life, just like he has for the last 6 years, and nothing. There's no recourse for any of this stuff. These hearings just all they do is expose things, but there's never any consequences for that exposure. There's no treason charges. There's no executions. There's nothing.
Planned. It's just planned.
Yeah. Oh no, I disagree.
It's a distraction.
So much of the court system is just.
They're already dead. They're already in Gitmo, and that's all been taken care of. And what we're seeing are clones. What is wrong with
I'm telling you, we need to start doing shows where we just act like these asshats online.
We should.
And we start off the show just saying all the shit that they love to hear. It's like, yes, that's exactly what's going on. That was not the real Biden that took office. And I'm like, I don't know if it's the real Biden or not, but some representative named Biden that's not been executed for treason, publicly executed for treason, there is still a Biden that represents that freaking corporation or whatever they consider themselves. So I don't give a fuck about your stupid fucking shit, because I think the military and the government is running psyops at all times. Yes, I saw the videos where his face was like wrinkled. It was obviously a mask. I've seen the actors. I've seen it. It's real, but they're fucking with us 24/7.
Trolling, absolutely. Riddle me
They're
this.
just getting us to look here, look here, look here, look here, and they're right here. That's where all the good shit's going down. That's all the stuff they don't really want us to know about. And they give us breadcrumbs, you know, a little bit of truth, but then they stop at a certain point, which tells me that they are told what to say and when.
Here's the thing, like,
Well-
why make a clone and then have the person act exactly like the person they cloned? You know, what's the point of that? I mean,
Right.
what is the point of that?
Right. And if Trump was like actually a good guy, a white hat, why would he have to nonstop lie if they had full control? Patriots in control. It's all a movie. It's just a script playing out to wake up the people
Right.
as they take more and more jab after jab.
How
after
about
jab.
all the air cues? Now,
Right.
He's trolling. He's trolling now.
He's
He's
the Pied Piper.
Yeah.
He's the
It's part of
Pied
the plot.
Piper. He's going to take everybody down to the river and drown them. I mean, this is what people don't understand. I mean, it's the same with Carney in Canada. He's the Pied Piper. And those of us who know what's going on, we're not being deceived by any of this crap that the other people are putting out there. We're the ones who are sitting and how can we sit here and watch this shit again?
Right.
But the other people are just absorbing it at enormous rates because they don't know any different. They won't walk to the computer and enter some of the terms that people are saying and say, okay, what is the W band? What is the M band? What is the Internet of Everything? Because they take what people say to them because they're that dumbed down or that ignorant or just too lazy. I'm not sure which it is. I haven't been able to figure that out. But the fact of the matter is they're not convincing us of anything, but we're the minority again. But the masses are eating this shit up because that's all they want. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Trump is just the Pied Piper. He's picking everybody up and he's saying, follow me. I'm the savior. I'm going to get you out of this. And everybody's just trooping along behind him. All the ones that like Carney, they're trooping along behind him. Macaron, the same thing. Doesn't matter who it is. I mean, almost every leader within the world has an agenda. They've been put into play to do this. And the sad part is the majority of people haven't got a fucking clue. They haven't got a clue.
I don't think
Or
they
they
want
have
clue.
decision fatigue and they can't make their own minds up.
They don't want to make their own minds up. They want to be told what to do. They want to be told what's the truth. They want to be told. They don't want to do the work or the research or whatever. And some of it's because they work a 9 to 5 and they're working 40, 60 hours a week to feed the family and they don't have time for that shit. And they got to have take care of their kids. I get a lot of the reasons why people would just stay away from this stuff and like not be interested because they just don't have the time and it's exhausting. Because it's exhausting. You deal with bouts of anger because you're just so frustrated how people can't see it because it's like, how the fuck do you not see this? Like was being said in the chat, they are shitting all over the Fifth Amendment and the presidential pardons. Like someone saying, like, when you get a presidential pardon, I don't think you're allowed to, right, Aim? You're not allowed to use the Fifth Amendment.
Right, you're not.
Because you're already pardoned.
Meaningless.
Tell
It's
us the
meaningless.
fucking truth. You're not held account.
You only use the plead the fifth when you can incriminate yourself. And if you're pardoned, you cannot incriminate yourself.
No, you can't. So what's the point?
Right. And they were asking him simple questions like, I don't even know, but like,
Yeah, what color
are
is
you
your
breathing
tie?
air? Or what was it?
What color is your tie? What color is that?
Right.
envelope
I
in
plead the
front of you?
fifth. It's just a fucking joke. And then it pisses
Yeah.
everybody off. And then
Yeah.
alternative media can go fucking ham with it. And
They
then
ought
he
to sell
walks
us
out
raffle
with super
tickets.
security.
They ought to sell us raffle tickets for like 300 people to sit in a room around him and ask real questions and have it televised.
You know, I
Yeah.
think they are
That's
asking real
raffle
enough
tickets.
questions. He's just going to plead the fifth. But the other thing is where does it make sense to pardon somebody who supposedly hasn't committed a crime yet? How can you proactively pardon somebody
Have you not just
hasn't-
told the world that they've committed a crime that you're going to
Exactly,
cover
they
up for?
just did. So that means Fauci could go out and stab a person and kill them on his way to his car from the hearings, and he would be pardoned.
Right?
He'd be fine.
I mean, that it was just an admission of guilt.
Exactly, it is. But it's like, why do we proactively pardon people? Obviously, you know he's guilty. He knows he's guilty. That's the only reason you're doing it proactively. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Like
Right.
the diversion, you only get a diversion when you admit guilt, but the court withholds the judgment. But it's on transcript that you admit guilt.
Right. Now you have a president that literally told a journalist that he believes that he writes treasonous news. So he's like accusing somebody of treason. This is the allegedly the commander in chief of the entire, free world. And then you've got situations like this where it's continuously, it's theater and everybody here gets it. But I just don't like when you a president that came in as the peace president and then turned the Department of Defense and Department of War. You have a guy that's called out the autopen, and Biscuits was like adding to the wiki all the pardons of the presidents, and Biden pardoned like 4,000 and some people, and that didn't include like all the criminals that had like marijuana charges and shit like that. This was like legit, like all kinds of pardons, and then did the pardon for Hunter and stuff like that, which we've never really seen with some of these pardons with like Fauci and stuff like that, like his last day in office. And Trump cries about it, but never does a fucking thing about it.
Right.
Then you have Trump talking about how there was election fraud and they believe that there was interference by China. And nothing gets fucking done about it. It's a joke. You're the president.
It's like a freaking soap opera. We've got
it is
next season. And I'm just like, turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, but they got the majority of the pundits out there that have the majority of the eyes on them because they give them fake numbers to make them look like they're super important when they're not. Dan Bongino, a big fucking fraud. How anybody can listen to that guy, I have no fucking clue at this point. Guy gets brought in, freaking FBI, does nothing, exposes nothing, acts like he's going in there to bring down all the Epstein list and expose it all. And then he goes in there and comes out on a fucking interview and says, well, I've seen the evidence and Epstein killed himself. He committed suicide, folks. I don't know what else to tell you. And then he comes back and goes, the Podfather is back. And then his numbers, according to Rumble, are still getting, 15,000 people watching alive. And then hundreds of thousands of views.
Podfathers. That's what they call the people that run the pods in the jails. The Podfathers. I had this one guy that was like 6'5". He was huge and he weighed like 260. He was a brick wall. But he had the mental capacity of like a 4-year-old. Bless his heart. I say that not condescending. Bless his heart. He was just lost. And he came up to me one day before court and he goes, "You going to prosecute me, Miss Wiz?" And I said, "Yeah, Doug. I'm going to have to try to revoke your parole, honey. You're not doing too good." And he goes, "That's okay. I'm doing pretty good in jail. I'm the pod fodder."
Right.
And I was like, the man has found his place. Who am I to fuss with him?
Right. But here's the thing about the autopen. It's not really even that big a deal because everybody in the military and everything does it now. Now that we have digital, that's how they do everything now.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like I've seen some people like can't stand him, and I get it, whatever. But anyways, like Space Force Chuck came on X or whatever and was saying it's not even that big deal. He's like, I autopen and sign things because there's just so much paperwork that has to be like, put into action that you use a digital signature. So stuff gets signed in mass and they have other people that look it over and confirm it. And then a guy like fucking Biden, who's not even really like, he should have been taken out for mental incapacity. I mean, he never should have been able to run. It's obvious that he was retarded and not even really there. And they pretty much proven that now too. So
there should have been some elder abuse charges there by his wife. And,
right. Anybody that was part of that administration and knew he was not capable of doing that job should be charged with treason.
Yeah, but don't you think he was put there to just see how dumbed down most people are? Because nobody did anything about it. I mean, we were all saying, what the hell? The rest of them are just going along to get along. They don't want to say anything. And I mean, in the States especially, I notice how political you guys are. I mean, you can't say anything that's not even political. It might be, something out there in the universe that's happening in another country, but it's political. And people down here especially, they really get bent out of shape if you say anything against whoever's running in your departments. I mean, we're not quite that bad up in Canada. We don't have to declare that we're, you know, a conservative or a liberal, but it's like I come down here and most people, they don't even say anything. They just accept what's there. Again, it's don't step outside the box. Don't upset the apple cart. Go along to get along, because they want to go to the parties that everybody's having. They want to go to the lunches where everybody gets drunk and complains about their husbands. It's just the way it is. They just there is a dysfunction somewhere, a disconnect.
They want
And
to
it's
belong in that disassociative
and be liked.
reality.
They have to be liked.
I don't know if anybody in that club actually likes each other. I think they all like hate each other, but they respect each other if they're evil as fuck, and they act like they're like, you know, Bill Gates wears like Mr. Rogers sweaters and shit, and he's like evil as fuck, but he can come out there and act like a philanthropist for the most of the world, and they think that he's actually doing something important and he's a nice guy.
In one society, does a man that looks like Bill Gates, that talks like Bill Gates, succeed so drastically? Because listen, out here in the podunk, if you look like a nerd and you talk like Kermit the Frog, you're not going to get many people following you, because you don't have any strengths that we see that are going to get you anywhere and help us get anywhere. And of course, you know, he basically stole everything from IBM, right? So
Well, I think he had a dad that was part of Planned Parenthood.
Well, and what in Africa, he sterilized how many people in Africa? I mean,
yeah, India, Africa, and a lot of these places, he really did a lot of damage, and they know about it. And there's, I mean, I don't know what's true anymore when it comes to the news. Like Biscuit was saying, if I don't have a stamp of a country in my passport, then I just assume at this point that it doesn't exist, because I've never been there to prove it.
Right. There's some places I do believe that have statements like warrants against him that don't want him back in their area.
Exactly, I've heard that. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard it.
But I'm sitting here going, you know, the man is hated for more than anything. But then we get people. What we do is we, as a society, we deflect, and so we go like, oh, but look at what we're doing. We're going to go to Mars. Hey, we can't get people in California to stop pooping on sidewalks, and you think we're going to Mars? Okay.
That's a good one.
You know, I look at the really small things, and if we can't do the really small things, we can't do the really big things.
Got a point. That was a hilarious point too.
I need to run the world, by God.
Hillbilly Heart for president.
I clean house.
I bet you would.
But see, there's the challenge. You are not part of the club. You would never, ever be allowed to run.
Oh, no, I'd never, ever know. It has to be done by force.
You never get to choose who's running in your own district, let alone in the bigger governments. I mean, even with mayors and stuff like that, they'll dish the person that they think would actually make change for the ones, you know, they'll say, oh, see, they did something, whether or not it's accurate or not, doesn't matter. But if they can take them out of the running, then the only choices you have are the ones that are put in front of you. You never see anybody just making it that actually made a big change.
Not like in my community. They put a man in for mayor because they knew he could be manipulated. And we had an issue with the local law enforcement. And I went to the mayor and I said, you're gonna have to get your guys in check, because I'm not playing this game with them anymore. They were harassing some of my parolees. And I was like, listen, I've told them if they're pulled over more than 3 times without a ticket, you know, go get a lawyer, because this is wrong. And the mayor's like, well, what am I supposed to do about it? And I'm like, they answer to you. You're above them. He did not know. He had not a clue. And I'm sitting there going, well, that's why they put him in power, because he could be so easily manipulated.
That's it. Yep.
He's a yes man.
Yep.
I grew up in a really small town, and even in that small town in Washington State, up in the mountains, it's completely controlled. At one point, they had a sheriff that was actually making it a gun sanctuary so people could own their guns and stay there and be safe and not have them taken away, because Washington State has gone radical, especially on the side that there's, but it's trickled over to the other side of the state where there's a lot of farming, mining and logging going on. And these people are very passionate, and then a lot of them hate the government, where I grew up anyways. Anyways, he did that, and then all of a sudden he ran for governor of the state. Didn't get anywhere with that, but after that, they booted him out of my small town. It pissed me off so much because it was obvious that they're like even controlled down to a tiny town level that no one knows about, like the small towns that don't have any significance on the bigger stage of people knowing where the location is or caring.
If you've asked people in the political realm here about me, they'll be like, oh yeah, she worked this job, that job, yeah, I know of her, but they won't have a really good response about me because I challenged them, or I held their nose to the grindstone into the law. But
Right.
if you ask the families that I helped get their loved one out of addiction, out of the off the streets, into better places, or got their life restructured in a positive manner, you won't hear any one person, any family speak bad about me. But if you go into the offices, they'll be like, yeah, she just didn't listen really good. No, I don't listen. If you're telling me to do something stupid, I don't.
Right.
Yeah, if you're blowing smoke up
Sorry.
my ass, I'm not going to listen.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
If you're
sorry.
lying,
Yeah.
I'm going to call you out on it. And so I think the problem is most people do not know the law. They don't understand it. Most people don't even know they use a different dictionary.
They don't.
It just, so
I tell
it,
people all the
and
time, there's
even the
contract
people that
law.
are doing these positions, though, a lot of them don't know.
They don't.
It that blows my mind, but that's in the top's favor that they don't know, because then they'll just do what they want, what they're
If y'all have
told.
watched that Reckless Ben on that whole Lego thing that's going like wildfire, he basically proves how stupid, evil, and idiotic the police are. They don't even know the law to charge or prosecute, and they have to like mute their mics, which they're not allowed to do, to go and read their annotated code for their area to try to figure out a charge, because even though they went to the police academy, apparently they didn't apply themselves, they don't know the law. And I'm sitting here going like when that woman was shooting at me for over a year behind me, and I had to work with law enforcement on that because they were sorry, they just didn't want to sack up and deal with it. That was the problem. They would be like, well, we don't know what to charge you with. And I was laying out like 5 codes, and they were like, what? And I was like, you just need to really go read like the whole chapter 39.
They're like, there's a chapter 39?
Yeah, well, yeah, you go into the Tennessee Annotated Code and you go through chapters and different sections. And so it's like 39, 17, 102, and they don't know any of these laws and stuff. And I'm sitting here going, how do you work for like 5 years on the police force? You have to go to the police academy to work that long, and you work this job daily, but you only know like 4 or 5 drug charges that you can charge with, or domestic violence, or that's why you would go to court in these small communities and you would see like 25 of the same charges, because they're making money and they don't know anything else. But
That's how they're
crimes taken care of because they don't know how to do it.
Well, that's how they're trained.
Yeah,
because during training, they're focused on more like how to, which they should, right? They should be able to handle themselves, handle the guns, the calls and all of that, how to actually do the function with the technology. But they don't, like what you're talking about, I don't think they go into the laws past what the normal, let's say the daily things that they're going to have to deal with.
They don't.
Which is domestic violence,
over here.
So I had to go home and study, and I thought that other people that had such an important job would go home and study as well. Oh no, I never saw anybody else.
It's just enough to get by, just enough to pass, basically. Go ahead, Lisa.
And you're in a job that can ruin so many lives, and I was like, people.
Right.
Over here, over here, there are a couple of YouTube channels where they actually expose the incompetency of the police. So they'll have stooges, and then they stop them for something which is absolutely illegal, no grounding whatsoever. And then this person will know the rights and they'll know the law, and they'll regurgitate it back to them. But these police officers have not got a clue. They're using the wrong laws, they're using the wrong terminology, they're using brute force, they're thick. And I know that they recently changed all the entrance exams, so they're looking for more sociopathic personalities for the people that they're now taking into the police. And the other interesting thing I just wanted to raise was about the CSE in the UK, Manchester, Rochdale, Bradford. When the Rochdale child sexual exploitation hit the press and they eventually had an inquiry, the chief of the select committee who chaired the inquiry was then later found paying for sex from young boys. So what Liz is saying, it goes right to the top. And at the time I worked on one of the teams, and because I spoke out and because I started asking questions, they gave me a compromise agreement to sign and I took voluntary redundancy. But it was corrupt from social services or incompetence. I mean, allegedly, I don't know the ins and outs, but it went right from the bottom right to the top. So the guy asking the questions in Parliament was later found paying for sex from young boys.
The judge that because I did some probation, I did mostly parole, but I did some probation. I did every level of supervision. But the judge that I worked for under a 5-county rotation when I did probation and interstate compact, right after I retired, he would call and check on me every once in a while because we had a good relationship. I'd pick on him a lot. He called me and he goes, "I'm retiring." I said, "But you're not even old." Because he wasn't. He was one of the youngest judges we'd ever had here. And he said, "Yes," but he said, "We're fixing to start taking political prisoners in this country, and I will not be part of it." And that was before COVID. And he left like right before everything fell to pieces. He knew what he told me. He said, how is your health? And I said, "I'm fine." He goes, "You know they're building a lot of these towers?" I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Are you researching?" I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "I knew you would be." He goes, "Take care of yourself." And about every 6 to 8 months, he'll call and check on me.
I left because of my moral compass. Those were
can't
my
have a heart and work in those fields.
I did, yeah. But as soon as I started to ask questions, the managers started to rumble, and I could see it unfolding. So that was 2012, and they didn't have the inquiry till years later. But it was just ridiculous.
So if this is how the humans compute, basically, in this regard, in lawfare and society, when we then offset this into the charge of robots and automated things, how's the behavior going to be then? Because we can't even get it right with a human component. So you take out that human component, what's going to happen then? How bad is it going to get?
It's frightening.
Right. Yep. That's always been my point about AI and stuff too. It's like you got to look at who's programming it to behave the way that it does, to learn the way that it does. Because if it's not coming from good, then no good's going to come of something else taking over. I mean, I just, there's no logic. You can't.
That's it.
It's crazy how far back it goes, though, because when we were talking the other day, I did a bit of back reading, you know, on the film The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Mm-hmm.
And it's set in 1887. Now, obviously, listening to Sabrina, the ITU was set up in 1865. And it's all about hybrids, ethical issues, the effects of trauma, and it goes on and on and on. So they knew this far back, and like you were saying before, it's just a repeating story of reinforcing all of those things with the public, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if they're able to turn it into the Terminator and put all the crux onto these robots and this, AI, then they have basically washed their hands of. They can no longer be held accountable.
Right.
Well,
That's how
guy
they're setting the laws up. Yes.
the guy who curated the Terminator came up with the idea during a fever dream. So a fever dream is obviously when you've got a fever, when your subconscious is more susceptible. I mean, it makes me wonder whether they just tapped into him and put the ideas into him.
Yeah.
And then he later sold the rights to New World Pictures.
Right. They can do that shit too. That's possible.
Right.
Real quick though, before it gets, Lisa, please read this. Say
You
it.
want her to read it out
Because
loud?
she has a because of her accent. Yes, say it.
Oh.
Do you want me to say
Remind me
it?
of the bumbling bobbies of Scotland Yard. I don't know. You do it.
What do you want me to say?
Can you see on the screen Jackie Jane saying?
I can't see because it's so tiny on my phone.
Ah,
What does it say?
repeat after me.
Reminds me of the something Bobbies of
Bumbling
Scotland.
bobbies of Scotland Yard.
I can't read it. Reminds me of the something Bobbies of Scotland Yard.
I never.
Yeah, I can't do a London accent. I'm a northerner, not a southerner.
Well, I'm a dumb American, so I mix up accents. I don't even know what accent is that. What accent sometimes, but bumbling bobbies. I never hear that. I love that term, and that these fucking assholes are bumbling bobbies in all these countries.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, in the UK, in Scotland, and all these fucking America. But what you guys are talking about there is exactly what they're doing with the healthcare that Sabrina's talking about. Bringing AI in to make all the decisions is going to take off the responsibility from the Faucis, from the doctors, from the medical system. It'll be all on AI. Who are you going to sue? You're going to sue the AI company that's worth billions and billions of dollars, and good luck to that. But it's not going to be a human that made the problem. And then you're going to have cops out here that'll be. It might even be like we skipped over RoboCop. Some of it might be a human augmented robots. Where part human, part robots mixed in with robots being, handing out tickets for cursing at some point, because at some point, people like us, we all going to get rounded up. Now, whether or not that's going to come anytime soon, I don't know. But at some point, they're going to get rid of anybody like us. They're already in the UK, right? People post something on Facebook, and you're getting fucking arrested. Bunch of bumbling bobbies.
I'm not on Facebook. I know on the radio today, when I was on an errand, it was talking about the number of deaths in police custody. And they said that Manchester, which is my closest city, has the highest number of police deaths in police custody. But the reason for that is because they have the biggest police force. So they were trying to twist the data to sort of say, oh, we've got more bobbies, that's why we have more deaths. But, it's crazy.
You guys call them bobbies?
Policemen, then you would have more people to enforce the law before it became, to a human casualty. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I think they had some big wig from the police, some inspector, I don't know, saying the data's skewed. It's because we're such a huge force that we have so many deaths. It's misrepresentative.
So when I was growing up in the 90s, we called cops pigs. Is bobbies like the slang term for asshole cops? No?
Bobbies, coppers, pigs.
It's getting bad. And I bet they don't get paid for shit, so then they're extra angry.
The poorest pay, they're not the brightest, and they're like glorified security people.
Right.
They do what they're told.
Yeah, they look for people that are not so smart, but really find some kind of power in the uniform and the kind of brotherhood bond that is kind of icky, because all they do is lie for each other.
Right. It's probably a lot of Freemasons, right? Low-ranking Freemasons trying to move up, hoping that'll be a part of the stepping stone to get them higher up in their fucking Masonic
in this area,
club.
Yeah, in this area that goes hand in hand. It does.
Absolutely. I was with a very young policeman a couple of years ago who was interviewing a young child, and he had a tattoo on his arm, and I was watching him, and the tattoo was the lighthouse with the red rose. And I just thought straight away, Mason.
Yep.
A lot of times, I mean, I've seen cops that are, I don't want to talk too much about it. I do have a former nephew that was a cop that has helped me out a couple of times, but I've seen local police officers who were known bullies in high school,
Yes.
you know? And it's true, Liz, you know, they have some power in this uniform and now they get paid to be bullies. I mean, what a great job they're thinking, right?
And sadly, they're not good at anything else, so that's the job they go into.
Exactly.
And they have vengeance on their hearts and minds, where they want to make people feel little like they felt when they were growing up.
Yeah.
But don't you think that also goes for anybody who's in a uniform that's sort of government operated? I mean, that happens all the time at the borders too. When we used to cross over from Canada into the United States, those guys were absolute assholes. We got pulled over one time, kept for 3 hours because we were told them we were going to Kentucky for the weekend. And they didn't like the fact that we were driving 8 hours to go to Kentucky for the weekend. They thought they had the right to tell me I'm only supposed to go 3 hours because it's unreasonable to want to do the other. And I finally like the guy was an ass. And I finally said, you know, if I lied to you and I said that I'm visiting my girlfriend in Michigan, we would be on our way. And he says to me, so you think you would lie to me? And I said, no, that's not what I said. Don't turn my words around. I said, had I lied to you, we wouldn't be here 2 hours later. I said, either shit or get off the pot, turn me around if you don't want me going into your country, because to be quite frank, I don't give a fuck. I can go home. I don't have to spend my money here. For 50 years, I've been coming here, and this is how you want to treat me? And the guy just looked at me. The other guys in the office were starting to laugh. My partner at the time, he was saying, oh, shut up. And I said, no, I'm not shutting up. 2 hours is enough. Just either shit or get off the pot. I don't care, but it's not just the police. And I've run into some very nice police officers, so it's not all the police either. Mm-hmm. But I think they have a control mechanism in their head, and they think if you can intimidate somebody enough to lie or intimidate them enough to tell you information that may or may not be factual, then they think they've got to win.
And you know, by law, they can lie to you when they question. They can lie to you.
Absolutely.
You can't lie to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the most
garbage. That's garbage. That should not be legal.
Yeah, that tells the whole show right there. That's what's going on.
Yeah, but you know what? The other thing is that the one guy that we talked to there at the border the one time, he had a Harley, and he was showing us it while we were killing time for something else. And the next time I went through and they pulled us over, I asked him how his Harley was. Well, you would have thought I'd committed a crime, because he said, how do you know that I have a Harley? And he goes down the road, and I said, you know what? The last time you pulled us over, you showed us your Harley. So that's your problem, not mine. I just asked you a question. But they just, they almost need to make you wrong. And it doesn't matter what you do. If they've got it in their head that you've done something wrong, you're there for hours. Terrible. Hours. It's ridiculous.
Don't try to joke with them. And we have the same thing going back the other way. I just went to Canada last week, but I'm like 6 miles from the Canadian border. And we have the same issue with the Canadian side. You don't even try to be humorous with them. They just have no sense of humor. They're all business. Don't try to joke. Just answer their questions. Don't add anymore. Don't leave anything out. And it's pretty intimidating going across the border, even from our side to your side. It's that they're really strict up there.
Definitely got a pucker factor.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to be pulled over and have your car torn apart for 2 hours, you know?
Somebody just said the police are trained to lie. Actually, you're not trained to lie. When you go through the academy, you actually do learn the law, the application of the law, and you kind of learn a straight-laced form of it. When you get into your into your small counties, and you get into those little small hierarchies where you've got the power players and the good old boys, that's when you start getting the corruption go on. I got one of the managers what he did was he had a really sorry officer, but that boy was a yes sir. He covered for the manager a lot, so the manager covered for him. He asked me to move into that county and take over that caseload, and basically you get told to do that. You don't get asked, you just get told and you have to do it. I assumed a caseload of like 200. He was over 9 months, in some places 18 months behind on paperwork. Some people that were on supervision, he did not even have signed supervision orders. So it wasn't even legal what he was doing. And then he gave me that caseload, and then 2 weeks later he came back to audit it and was going to fail me, and I had to go higher above him and say, he just gave me this caseload to clean it up because he knows the other man's inadequate. I'm in the process, but I will not take an F when I always score like a 98, 99 because it's the other man's work being reflected, not mine. I said, give me 6 weeks and come back and audit me again. And so he got a ping on his record because they knew that he ought not to have done that. That was dirty. And so the next like 2 weeks, I get a call and they're like, you need to come to a meeting in Knoxville and you need to be here at 10:30. And I was like, oh crap, what? Am I getting trained in something else or what? Because I did every level of supervision. And I show up and they bring me in a little room and there's that little freaking manager that I'd gotten into trouble. And I didn't mean to get him in trouble. I just told the truth. I'm not going to be penalized for somebody else's stupid work. Let me clean it up and then you can, knock me for my own mistakes, but let me clean it up. He got mad because it made him look bad. So he came in there and he said, we sat down and I was like, what's going on? Everybody liked me. I had no problems with what's going on. They said, well, and his name was Adcock, which should have told everybody, that's his last name, should have told everybody what kind of person he was. They said, Mr. Adcock has something he wants to say. And he said, did you come to the football game the other night and slash 4 of my tires? I said, football game where? And he said, his little community. And I said, that's an hour and 15 minutes away from where I live. On a Friday night, when I get off work and have to travel an hour home, I said, I got pizza and watched a movie with my kids that I hadn't been able to see all week because I work 5 counties for the state. I said, no, sir, I did not. And he says, you didn't slash my tires. I said, no. I said, why would you think I would? Well, because you don't like me. I said, it's not that I don't like you. I said, I just sometimes question how you manage people. I said, especially when it comes to audits. And I said, but that question was answered. I said, I'm fine with it. And he goes, well, I still believe you did it. And I said, I wouldn't have done it. I would have only slashed 2. Because if you slash 2, they won't replace them insurance, but you slash 4, they will. I said, I'd have made you pay for 2 tires if I'd done it. I said, but I didn't do it. And the people there were like, holy crap, this, they got a problem. And the lady looked at me and she goes, so what's going on here? I said, he does not like me. I said, but the bigger picture is this man went out in his community. I said, he's worked for this agency for 21 years. And he went into his community at a football event where people are normally, sporting event where people are normally in a good mood. And somebody hated him so much that they slashed his tires. I said, what's he doing in his own community that he's hated that much? And then they all swiveled to him and he knew I had got him. And they excused me, but he had to stay for like 4 more hours. And then he got in trouble. From that point on, that man was after my head. After my head. And those are the people that stay. They tenure out, and then they get in senior positions, and then they puppeteer everybody else. And that's why we have these organizations that are so crooked. It's that in a nutshell. Sorry, but that was like the worst part of, when I knew at that point how devious and crooked they were, that they were going to make me go and clean up after somebody that they took care of that couldn't even do his job, but then they were going to try to pin me with his bad work. And I was just like, not going to happen.
I think you were flexing your pec muscles at these guys too much. You made them feel small. He actually thought his name was Little Cock.
Actually, he was like 4'11" and had polio when he was a kid. So I think he had like a Napoleonic complex.
Liz, okay. Did you show him the bullets?
I tell you what, the day that I retired, the last day that I worked, he walked me. I made sure to park on public parking and not on state parking, not on state property. And he said, well, I'm going to walk you to your car so you don't take anything from the office. And I was like, I've done handed everything in that I've had for a decade. And I handed it up. What do you think I'm going to take? A piece of paper from the printer? You know, he's like, well, I would just feel better walking you. And he just wanted to make a big show of my last day. And he felt like he had won, but it was my health, you know, but he felt like he had won. And we got to my car and he said, why did you park over here? I said, oh, look at that. It's 4:32. I'm no longer a government employee and I'm on public property. I said, I'm no longer Officer Waters. Next time you run into me, it'd just be Redneck Liz. And she ain't near as nice. And if I was you, I'd run. And I just left. I ran into him at the courthouse up here renewing my tags one day. And he saw me and he turned and left. And I thought, smart man. So he knows how dirty he did me. And he knows he don't want to run into me now since, you know, because when you have a badge, they pretty much have their thumb on your head, you know. But when he would get really horrible with me, I tell him, well, why don't you check for polyps while your head's up my butt, save my doctor a trip.
Yeah, Liz, you got some one-liners that'll make men just hate you because that one thing will never get out of their brains.
I know, he hates
Right.
You put people in their place.
Just
You
like
need to have a
that.
class, Liz. You need to teach a class how to handle law enforcement.
How to handle, law enforcement, bullies, anybody, because Liz used to work with some of the hardened criminals, the murderers and people that have done the worst, right? When you were in the prison. Yes. Yeah. And people would, they didn't want a woman working with them at first. And then Liz would counter that with something and boom, I like this lady. And then they fall in love with her and do whatever she fucking said.
I had a guy that had a shootout with TBI and the FBI, and he actually killed an officer. So he had spent like 20 years of his life. But after he and his son had the shootout, after he had shot the people, he then became Mr. Chicken, you know, after being so tough, and turned the shotgun back on himself. But what he did was he didn't do it correctly, so he blew part of his face off. And he had a trach and had a hole here for a mouth, but it never closed. Didn't have a nose, didn't have one eye. And so when he came out of prison, he was a butthole. And they give him to me because he was very aggressive. And the men in the office, they knew he would clash with, and they thought that I would be able to kind of maneuver through his sarcasm. He was just the butthole. And he came in, and of course he talked like this right here because he didn't have no lips. And he said, I don't know, no stinky woman officer, I don't want. And he was just screaming, and I was just like, are you done? You know? And I said, come sit down with me. We're going to have a talk. And I knew that if he got away with this first day, this was going to be our whole entire relationship, and I was not going to be able to control this man who was a danger. So I took him back in my cubby, and I said, look, I said, I didn't put you on parole, you did. I said, you had a shootout. I said, you injured and killed people. I said, you and your son put yourselves in this position. I said, then you decided you didn't want to be part of this anymore. I said, if you didn't want to be on parole, I said, you should have cocked that scatter shot a 1/4 inch on back, because, buddy, you know how that gun works. I said, but you're a chicken shit pansy ass, and here we are, and you're on parole. And then he looked at me and he goes, I think I like you. And I went, oh, shit. Never had a problem out of him, though. Never had a problem out of him.
I've heard you tell that story one time when I was catching you on one of your shows.
Good
and so
one.
I'm glad you got to share it here because it's gangster. Straight up hillbilly gangsta.
Well, see, on the weekends when I was healthy, I was going and hunting 400 and 500 pound wild Russian boars. So I'm a little off in the head. I'm not quite right.
Well, you got to be in some ways. Like, to exist in this world, like, you got to be a little crazy to deal with the insanity.
Yeah, you got to be able to bear it. But I worked with some crazy people. But the thing that bothers me the most is that the worst felons that I worked with, the management were far worse, did worse things, and had far darker hearts.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going. I think that's where we're going. And that's why I think if they do get to where we're in this AI, transhumanism, robot police force, screw morals and empathy and sympathy, we're always going to be cattle on the run doing the wrong thing because you cannot reason with a hunk of metal.
Right.
Nope,
You're
we
good.
can
And
barely,
go ahead, Ame K.
I was just going to say we can barely reason with a human being, and now they're going to put a hunk of metal in front of us that has no empathy at all, no sympathy.
Right. And so nobody wants to deal with something that doesn't understand the human condition.
Right.
No one. And when you're a kid and you're told you can't do something, what do? You rebel. Not everybody. Everybody's got a different story. But in a lot of cases, those of us that were told something that we knew was like hogwash made us want to do it more. Or some of us did.
Yeah,
Not just addiction,
contentment.
but it's like you're telling me something like you're a hypocrite. You could see some of these assholes like, you know, a teacher like smoking or whatever and what blah blah, and you're 18 and you're still in high school. Stuff like even simple stuff like that. But now you're going to have something that doesn't understand you. So when I was in addiction and going into rehabs, you didn't want to deal with anybody that was just book smart.
That's it.
You don't fucking understand what it was like not being able to stop. You don't understand what it was like fucking doing shit that you couldn't control, where you're physiologically addicted so much that you didn't want the shake, so you drank. Like you don't know the struggle that it was that we had to go through. And so just like this, you're going to be dealing with something that you have no respect for because it doesn't even understand the word respect.
Yep. And that's what I'm worried about. That's exactly what I'm worried about. If you ever do anything about your addiction, and so I've got a great guy that would be awesome for you to interview. He works in recovery centers now and writes music about overcoming his addiction.
Right.
He's amazing.
Yeah, I thought about it. It just it brings a whole nother dynamic to things. I'm not against it. Obviously, I will talk to anybody about it. It's just it's a lot because you get people in a lot of different walks of life that are like at the beginning stages or they're currently struggling. Like we've had some people on the channel that currently know it's not good for them, but they're drinking. I don't know if I have the energy to do this and help.
Yeah.
But if we had a it's like I can't get a men's group started because I don't have enough men and I don't have anybody that has the time or the willingness to, you know, be able to do the responsibility that it would require.
You know, I can help you with the men group.
Now, if we start some male belly dancing, and now Jamie left because he'd be the lead on that, maybe we could add in some addiction recovery too, because I think biofilled belly dancing for men with addiction issues, that might help. However, we might need to bring some women in every once in a while to keep them motivated. If you know.
Well, I may have him on to share music because he's amazing, but you know, a lot of it it's
so
an
wrong.
inner core strength, which is, you know, where your biofield emanates from, and they don't understand how these drugs or these relationships we have, how it puts a nick in that, and you deplete your own battery, and you don't understand what you're doing to yourself. And it's how you link up with the appropriate people, and you do the appropriate energy swaps, and you kind of recharge each other, you know. And it's about finding those positive people, and because if I had to spend all day in a management training, I left angry, grumpy, and irritated at the world. But if I got to speak to 2 or 3 people on reporting day that were getting it and that were working on themselves and were trying and were starting to believe in themselves, I would go home absolutely happy and just elated. And you know, and that you understand now how that affects you, your biofield, your battery, your energy, you know, your perspective. And so I try to be really positive, and if I have to be nasty, I try to be nasty in a nice way, to where you have to think about it to understand what I said, and by the time you think about it, you giggle, and then you can't be mad at me.
Yeah, I think you're really witty, but at the same time, I call it a little bit of bullshit. I think sometimes you just go for the nuts.
Yeah. My grandma taught me that. I used to bring him to her to fry.
But you're really witty. So yeah, the way that you bring it sometimes, like that story you talked about where this guy, man, you put him in his place real quick and that's all it took. Like it's that good. Like it's that right blunt in your half blown off face, bro. Like you ain't got nothing to counter with that.
But I
kind of like this lady.
I'm so worried as we progress into this transhumanism crap, and we're dealing with more and more mechanical AI, and I don't trust AI. It can't even get my phone autocorrect correct. You can tell when I'm on my phone. I lose 25 IQ points because it changes all my words. But I'm so worried when we have to start interfacing more with machinery instead of man. I think it's going to start to, if we don't really learn how to work on our own biofield, our own energy, I'm afraid it's going to start to deplete us as human beings in ways we don't quite understand.
I agree, and that's why we need to work on our biofield with belly dancing.
I don't know.
My eyes.
Courtesy of
Yes.
Monica.
Oh my god.
Monica.
Oh my gosh. My hope is, guys, and this is my hope, and I hope it's okay, but I get to know yins, and with my health, I'm not always here, and I know yins understand that. And I like to listen and hear y'all's stories, which is why I'm not on here a whole lot. But as I get to know some of yins, certain things like spark within me. And so I get really interested in one person's story, and I kind of go through each of yins and get to know yins. What I'd like to do in the future is when one person sparks onto me, I would like to, if I have the time, create a doll specifically for you and just surprise you with it. But that would mean when I contact you and ask you for a P.O. box or an address, you would trust that I'm not going to show up and hurt you.
Well, you do have an Etsy store, so you're official, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if I choose to make one of somebody that has sparked something within me, it would be completely free. I just want to make it for you.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
I would love to see a mushroom-topped Heather doll.
Yes! The mushroom
Red
top.
mushroom with little white spots.
That could be done.
I bet it could. I bet it'd be a
I
good
think that
one.
was that Monica too? Wait, no, wait, that was
No,
Charlie. That was fucking
Charlie. Charlie. I should have never sent her that freaking picture.
Oh my god, that's way up in the chat. This chat.
Well,
goes
I've done
through.
make my mind up. If I ever make one of Charlie, it's going to have a little tiny ghost that goes around with it.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
the white
perfect.
cheek ghost.
Instead of a cat, it'd have a little tiny ghost.
Oh my god!
Yes.
I got it.
But
That's
that's something
perfect.
I'd like to do because I like to make people smile and kind gestures and stuff like that. And
There you go.
there you go. See, it can be done. Y'all, hey, my imagination is far-reaching. You just never can tell what I might do.
Whew.
Well, there you go.
Bye.
There's your mushroom top Heather with a little stash. Mustache.
No.
I may take that as my first challenge.
There you go.
And you can
Make
take
it
a little
happen.
screenshot of that. It's in the Telegram. We'll get it to you. We'll get a higher
So I'll
quality
have to
too. So you just take a
document
little
it,
look at it and boom.
I'll document it really well and make sure that everybody gets to see it and giggle at it. But then I'll mail it to her.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. I'm already thinking of the next thumbnail that's going to be made for this Booma community.
Oh my god.
I'll take my yarn, and that's what I work on during my markets when I'm there for 10 hours a day and bored out of my mind. That's what I'll be working on.
So I brought it up a couple times, but the video game that became a TV series, The Last of Us, it's zombies but depicted through fungus. So when we did the mycelial network and all that stuff with Charlie, and she got into how the fungus and the EMF and all that stuff interacts and how it's making it worse and all that kind of stuff. Well, that show might be like a dystopian kind of thing that we could bring into this kind of conversation, because it's more like post-apocalyptic, I would think. And then we will have a mushroom top for some reason with a mustache Heather thumbnail. Just saying.
She looks like a Mario Kart character.
Yeah, right. It's like a
Right?
maybe a Luigi or a Mario.
Too funny.
That is
You know what,
hilarious,
guys?
though.
I love
I'm
making
gonna
these
have
stuff.
to dip out because it's getting to be that time in my neck of the woods. But I really enjoyed this conversation. Been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll stay on a little bit longer, but we were glad to have you, Ame K.
I'll listen while I'm making dinner.
Awesome. More to come. We appreciate you. Much
Yeah,
love.
we appreciate
very
you
much.
guys.
Thanks
I
for
love being on
coming.
here with all you. Yeah, thanks, Heather. Nice meeting you, Liz. Nice being on with you, Liz.
Oh, it's nice to meet you too. And this
I know I'm gonna get Liz on here as
amazing.
much as possible,
She's funny.
even if health in consideration. We always know that that's part of it, and it's always good to see you in good spirits. And I know even yesterday like wore you down a little bit, but I'm so glad you're here. This is awesome, and all of you that have joined, and first timers, and Lisa and
yeah, Ursula and Lisa.
Yeah, Ursula, first time. We're gonna continue talking for a little bit, but Ame.
Okay, I've listened. I'll listen.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
You guys take care. Love y'all. It was nice sharing the screen with you. Take care.
Awesome.
These groups are so great. Y'all don't know how much it really does help me deal with my disorder and my down days, and I really appreciate y'all.
Yeah. No, when I found out Heather told me that you were going to be on, I was like, yeah. I was super stoked. But then I'm super stoked to see some new people jumping on. We got the Sinaloa cartel in the house with Janet. We got Lisa, who has like one of the most badass accents that I've ever heard. Lionessroars from her bunker. She's prepared for whatever comes, zombies or whatever it is. And now we have Belly Dance and Ursula up in this. And when I was saying earlier, we're going to have to bring ladies in every once in a while, because like I can't imagine, like, I know the guys are like doing the runway stuff and whatnot, but it's not the same. Ladies have different curves. The way you guys can move your body is beautiful. And I'm not even talking in a sexual way, even though sometimes it's fun to play around with that or whatever. But the belly dancing that you could do as a woman would have to be way better than anything a guy could do, because of the hips and the motions that you guys can make. It's just got to be an anatomical fact. It's just like men will be better at certain sports because of testosterone and the muscle build and the bone density.
Right.
But women have other attributes that'll make them way better at a lot of these things.
Well,
I agree.
Well, I have to tell you, Booma, when the guys dance, the reason guys can make it look good is because they have more muscle mass too. But it looks different. But the muscle mass that men have actually does help. You know.
So, I mean, the muscle mass. Are you talking? I mean, can they do certain moves that you can't do, or what? What do you mean?
It looks different. It definitely looks different. It's not gonna look the same as a woman. You know, the hips and everything makes everything look different. A woman has a softness. You know, when there's more. It looks completely different. I do appreciate there's some male dancers are really, really good. You know, they're really good to watch. But a lot of them out there are more out there in an outrageous way, meaning, you know, they like to have these crazy costumes and everything, and it's more of a almost like a show thing, raising an eyebrow, putting on the outfit, doing the whole thing. But there's those few that stick out and they're really good. I mean, I have to admit there's some that really stick out as good, but a lot of them, no, they just blend. You know, they're just not all that great. You know, it's more like,
Some of the
I'm a male
moves.
belly dancer. But
Yeah, some of the moves has that muscle oscillation that I'd say men can probably accentuate more than the women.
Well, you know what it is, about belly dancing. Like I was talking, it's made for every body type, and it actually looks better. I mean, the women that are very skinny, it does not look so great. Even if they do, it's good to have a little extra on the bone.
So you're saying I'm going to be a pro?
You're going to be a pro, yes.
Immediately, right out the gate, those tatas, those pec muscles. You've got both aspects of what makes this great, according to Ursula, who is a professional.
What it is, it's nice because anybody looks good. Anybody can make it look good. It's really, there's no you know, you do the movements, you hold the right posture, and you look fantastic. That's the
Well, this
thing.
went in a direction I didn't expect. I was really like setting the stage for you to really hype the women, but then you came back with something that I didn't expect.
And
I will always say that I don't want to watch a male belly dancer. If I did for just a short period, just to have a peek at what it looks like, but I'm gonna watch a female with all of them curves. I'm not even talking it's all sexual, but there's something about the female body, obviously, that I would be way more attracted to with the kind of movements that happen with belly dancing.
I'm a woman and I enjoy watching female belly dancers. I'm a
Yeah.
woman.
Right.
And
Some
I'm,
of the
and
women
I'm,
in the chat have also agreed. Unless
and
it's
I'm
Magic Mike style,
heterosexual.
right, blunt bitch? Unless it's Magic Mike style, they prefer watching the ladies.
And like I said, I'm a woman, I'm heterosexual, but I do enjoy watching female belly dancers. Absolutely.
No twerking. All right, no twerking. But there's just like a sensuality. It's not sensual. I guess that's too sexual. There's just a gentle softness that a lady has that I don't see how a male pulls off. Now,
And
there's
they're
probably some
usually-
like very intense belly dancing forms, but I can't imagine that a man pulls off the gracefulness that a lady does.
And they
And
usually
it's
tell you a story. You know, you have to imagine you're like all dancers. Their dance goes through the filter of their lives and everything. So they're basically telling you a story. They're bringing you on a journey. That's what it is.
Gotcha.
and
What do
it's
you-
difficult as well. It isn't it, Heather? It's difficult to do.
Right, all you ladies
fun.
have been doing this, right, on Saturdays?
It's we
Yeah,
get
it's
we
not
have a
easy.
few that show. Sorry,
It's not
there's a few
easy,
of
is
it.
it, Heather?
No, you have to isolate the different muscle groups, and your legs will be on fire by the time you're done. But also your stomach, like that's sometimes why I end up laughing at myself because it's like I'll get it for a couple moves, and then it's like, oh. So you really have to work your core, which is great. But it's also really good to get movement in your hips and your lower back and stuff too. The stretches actually feel pretty good. But yeah, it's a workout. It's not as easy as you would think. Like how a belly dancer would make it look like. Oh, I'm just shaking it a little bit. And when you start getting really into it, is not easy. It takes work.
What it is that you actually learn to use your muscles in a different way. Heather knows. You learn that. You have to really relearn. There's things that in Western world we don't use our bodies in a certain way. And you basically relearn certain movements and things. And you're like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I could make it look like that. Right, Heather? And yeah, that's the thing. And it is a workout. You know, we're used to workouts as in running, impact, and all that stuff. But that is a workout because you're basically, some muscle hold your body in position, and the other ones basically is isolation. One part of your body has to be held in place, and the other part has to move. So both sides are working. The part that has to hold everything static is working hard to hold everything static, and the other one is moving. And you know, it's a brain workout because you have to do one thing at the same time as another. Some muscles hold, some muscles move. So it's hard. Heather knows. She tried and she's like, oh, I'm sweating, I'm hot. It's like, yeah, that's it.
Can you turn the coins with your belly?
No, I've not done that. That is crazy. I'd love
Right,
to
I've
be
seen some of
able
those
to.
videos and I'm like, how?
Yeah, you've watched it, right? When they lie down and they have the coins that turn, they make them walk on the belly. I love that.
How do they have? That's like fascia control. That's got to be fascia.
It's perfect abdominal control. That's what
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they're moving when they're moving it. It's amazing.
Like when we
Right.
just move around regularly, we're not isolating each individual muscle, but when you're belly dancing, you literally have to focus on just this part. You know, like it takes a lot of focus because we're not used to doing that. We don't hold ourselves that way regularly. So you really have to get them to engage and then work on them. I don't know. I can kind of roll my belly, but I don't think I could do it with coins and stuff. But I bet you if I worked at it long enough, eventually I probably could. It's like
I can roll
anything
mine,
else and you gain muscle memory.
Maybe we'll try that one day.
There you go.
We'll check out. We'll see if we can find a tutorial on how to, and we'll all try it out too.
There you go. It'd be a lot of fun.
So hard.
We'd be laughing hysterically. That's how I'll get the coin to move by laughing.
I know you always have the coin bouncing because it'll be laughing. Your belly laugh will just.
I'll just lay down when I do it. Yeah.
And I wonder what currency works best on the belly on doing the belly roll.
Right. I think it was quarters, like the size of quarters, whatever the coin was is what it looked like that I saw. But if you guys want to talk about some dancing, if you haven't seen this yet, I mean, he's not here, I guess, so then that makes it even better. Here he is with Allison.
Of course, it's
Oh,
Allison.
this isn't the full one, so this is the nice Biscuits and Allison. Oh, he's gonna kill me later for even showing that. But I think I got one where it's the. Let me check real quick. Oh God, he's good. Biscuits, are you here? Are you in the background?
Did you do one that was John Travolta?
Liz, there you go. You can make a a Biscuits with a fro because he did the Macarena with the fro.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
You never know
oh
what's
my
going to make.
gosh.
How every doll is slightly different, but I think it's because I'm in
Yes.
a different place every time I make one. So you never know what's going to
Yes, it's a great
That's
idea.
Biscuits with a fro is I love it. I freaking love it doing the Macarena.
Disco
yeah.
biscuits.
Disco
Booma, I
biscuit.
love the videos. I love your shorts and your videos that you do. I mean, you're using AI for positive.
That's what I'm saying. It's a tool. It could be used for good. It's just this freaking psychopaths that are in control. And probably at the top, it really is AI's in control. And that's been a discussion that we've had on this channel, right? Where
good
it's like they
tool,
have
yeah.
AI and all their little spiders all over the internet and monitoring the social airwaves of Wall Street, the internet, social media, Facebook, what people watch on Netflix and Hulu and all that.
Yep.
And so they constantly have the social sentiment of everybody in every situation. So they can raise the temperature of everybody's anger with the Fauci thing, and they can bring it down. Or they can take it a little bit higher and see if they can bring it down. They can play with load balancing all day, every day.
Yep.
So we got to be aware of that.
I go through life just reminding myself to put my eyebrows down. Because if your eyebrows are up, you're animated, you're overexcited, you're overwhelmed, you're angry. So every day, if something hits me wrong, I'm like, put your eyebrows down, Liz. Just go on about your business.
Right. Janet, are you awake? Janet. Oh, hey. Welcome back. You were sleeping and you're muted.
No way.
No,
I can't
Just
see.
no, I was just listening. I had my eyes closed, but I wasn't asleep. I heard everything that was going on.
All right. Well, I was about to say that was the first. Freaking fell
It's
asleep.
I'm not into the belly dancing thing, so it's really my thing.
I think
There'll
you
be a
would
quiz at the end.
You would be. And I'm just teasing. All right, what do we got next? Well, we got about 15 minutes. Let's keep this close to an hour. Lionessroars, what do you think about all of this? Anything? Just go for it.
Anything. I just got to say that Ursula is a fabulous belly dancing teacher. And that exercise is just fabulous. Afterwards, I feel so alive. My biofield is just like humming for hours. It's really great. Please join us, ladies. Please join us. I missed the last one, though. I'm so bummed I missed it. But Heather
It
got
worked
a
out to my
one-on-one.
benefit, actually.
Yeah.
I got a private
Saturday,
Yeah,
lesson.
you have
but you
you have
one-on-one.
more opportunities Saturday. So we're gonna do this Saturdays for as long as possible. We're gonna keep on. Oh, that is so cute. We're gonna
Did you just
keep on
finish that?
going with it. So
She
I
just
was-
did just now. That was fast.
Go ahead, Ursula. Sorry.
I want to keep on going with this class because the reason is it has helped me a ton, and you know, and I want to pass this I want to pass the fun and the wellness on to people, you know. And I've had times where I stopped doing it, many times stopped because busy and stuff, and this is also like a way for me to teach, bring forward the fun, the wellness, and for me to jump into it too. You know, it's a whole thing. and I love passing this on because there's so many movements that actually really fight depression. And I know, how right now we have so
Mhm.
many reasons to be really down and everything. This is fun. It fights the blues basically. So
Right.
like I always say, how can
Yeah,
you be sad when you're shimming and jiggling,
right.
Right.
I even did a couple of those videos that you had posted. That one
Mhm.
lady that does those workshops, because
Sadie,
I
she's
missed the
awesome.
class.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
she's
wonderful.
fantastic.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great.
I'm a big fan of her. I also met her in person and took classes from her in
You
person
did?
too, back in Boston. Yeah, she came to Boston, and it was like a 3. It was like a weekend. It was like a 2-day intense workshop. It was awesome. She's wonderful,
Wow.
actually. So yeah. So I took a lot of classes online with her and in person. So I all I'm doing is I'm trying to transmit some goodies. That's all it is. And I'm passing it on.
And it's
Jill
fun.
dared me to belly dance.
Liz,
Yeah,
you should
I double
join
dog
us.
dare you, Liz.
You should join us, Liz.
I may have to join in. And my body probably can't do some of the movements,
No,
but
you
I may
only
have
do
to
what you can.
Do you have like a
you-
armchair
have
belly
a
dancing? So because I'm thinking for I don't want to call out the older generations or whatever, like
those
people that aren't so
roller
mobile,
carts.
like being on their feet for a long time. Do you have
I
any where
think
people could do some movements while they're just like sitting down in a situation like
You
that?
can do upper
know
body
what?
movements.
Yeah.
We can, Heather's right. We can do that. Like, for instance, give the opportunity for people to sit down and do upper body movements, isolations,
Right.
loosen up the upper body, neck and
Mhm.
everything, isolate parts. We can definitely do that. So it's, what it is, it's not a matter of like we have to look fabulous in costume and have our entire YouTube page and dancing, looking fabulous internationally. No, it's just a matter of using those movements for our own benefit. That's all.
Right.
And you do what you can. You're gonna get benefits from it no matter what, no matter how
Okay, so when
no
is
matter
it? When
what you
is it
do.
again? When
Right. So Michelle's asking as well. I think
Saturdays.
Michelle does the yoga and stuff like that. So I bet it'd be kind of cool to have her on there and check it out, see what she thinks. Add some yoga movements, like the biofilled movements that Sabrina does. Adding some of that in. I mean, you guys do whatever you want. I'm just saying. I think about anybody that's out there, even if you don't join the classes, you could do some of this stuff. I think it's important. Janet, there's got to be some form of dancing that you like. But this is done on Saturdays. I pass it off to Heather, I think at 2 p.m. Central. So it'd be 3 p.m. Central. And then it's 9 p.m. where you're at, Ursula?
Yeah, for me, Europe, if you're anywhere in Europe, most of Europe's time, I mean, Spain, it's 9 o'clock on Saturday, 9 p.m.
Which is perfect. Get a little sweat on, get a little movement, take a nice shower, get in bed.
I love it. No, are you kidding? We go out at midnight here.
You're crazy, lady.
I made myself a note.
Yes.
So
it's on a private Zoom. I pass off my Zoom to Heather, and then you can get up like 100 people in there, so you ladies could have
very thankful to Booma for allowing us to use the Zoom. So it's open to everyone. Yes, please.
So yes, but here's the thing. I have a private group chat on Telegram.
Right, gotta be
opening
a
it
little
to the public.
careful. We don't want any glowies getting in.
Right. But you'll have to join I'm sorry, you'll have to join Telegram and find me. You can find me in Booma's chat and send me a DM. We'll work it out. I gotta go through the gauntlet.
You gotta go through a little bit of the gauntlet. Now, some people that have been in the live, like Chelsea, you wanted to jump on. I would get you the link. Yeah. I just need a private way to get you a link. If you don't join Telegram, then you could DM me on maybe Substack if you're on Substack. ways that I could get you links. But most people, when we're doing this now, I used to just throw the link out. I don't do that anymore because we had infiltrators coming on. We learned about the term glowy, which is usually an operative that comes in and pretends like they're, an organic person just coming into a group, and they're there for nefarious reasons. We've had too many of those, and it would just blow your mind because you think it's just conspiracy or something like that. Even conspiracy theorists think that, like, okay, you're going a little bit too far. No, it's like legit, like happening. So bringing them into this belly dancing thing, they'll find any way that they can, yes, to get into the group and get an eye on things.
Yeah, it's very private, meaning that it's only ladies, and it's very intimate and stuff. So yeah, you have to be in a certain group before. Sorry, my bad. I thought it's for
It'd be nice if we could, right? It should be a world where you can see, like, yeah, it should be just a world though where you could be like, anybody's welcome, But we've tried that, and now we found out no, it's not possible.
Doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work at all. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I apologize. It is for everyone after you're in a certain group. After
you just got to go through the gauntlet and be ready.
With the first part of the gauntlet, honestly, for the most part. I mean, if Dorian trusts you, you've had interactions, that's another thing, we can work it out. But other than that, I only do it through Telegram.
I really have bad discernment often with females. So
okay, well then then we're gonna scratch that. And we're gonna start over. What you're gonna do is, if you would like to join, you will have to join Telegram, and I apologize for that, but this is how it is. You're gonna have to come into Booma's channel, come find me. Hey, you girl, you'll know you'll be able to find me on there, and then you send me a private message. We'll have our discussion and we'll work it out. And if I know you or feel comfortable, then I'll send you the private link. Cannot be shared anywhere else. And then through there in the channel, I have things pinned, the schedule. I put in announcements every week, what's coming up for that week, reminders, that kind of stuff.
Right. But like I said, I let the ladies use their discernment now. That's why I like to bring people into the Telegram so other people can have their eyes and their ears on the situations, because I've made I like to think the best of people, and then when it comes to women, there's the obvious reasons why I fail at times.
If you need anybody backgrounded, just yell at me.
Janet, what do? You break dance or what? You got to have some kind of dancing, right?
I used to do a lot of dancing when I was younger, but unfortunately right now my hip is really hurting, so that's why I had my eyes closed, basically, is because it's aching a bit right now. So, but no, I used to love to dance, especially when my partner was still alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
My husband's never danced with me.
Oh,
kidding.
Never? Not even on your wedding?
No. Everybody needs to send David on his.
I'm surprised you let him get away with that.
Well, so I
used to love to dance.
All right, be careful where we go with this, because I don't want Dave to get pissed off at me. Some friendly gestures towards Dave on dancing with Liz would be appreciated, but not be Booma Community says, don't be an asshole, Dave. Dance with your wife. I don't know. No, I know that, and it's on record. Dave, I appreciate you.
Before this disorder, I taught clogging and square dance with my mom. And I actually had one of my clogging students. He won Maggie Valley 3 years in a row, and he went on to dance with the Opry, the square dancers of the Opry, and then he had a whole career. He's a magical person. He's just a showman. And so I miss a lot of the movement that I used to do. And of course, I used to ride and train horses and do stuff. So I'll absolutely join in on a class. And ladies, listen, if you're worried about looking funny, I'm going to look the funniest. So I'll just put me in the middle, and I'll make everybody else around me look really great.
Nobody looks funny, Liz. Nobody. Everybody looks great. Believe me.
That's like no one can ask a dumb question, but it's possible.
There is nobody that's going to look funny. Believe me.
Well, I'm going to have my row later, so it'll be a odd moment. But you know something? I embrace my silliness, so we'll just roll with it.
I say everybody does the best they can. The important thing is how you feel, You want to make sure you don't have pain. I teach the positioning,
Yeah.
the correct position. Everybody is gonna do their part, whatever works with your body. And nobody looks funny or silly. Everybody looks great.
Well,
Because
I'll jump in and try it. I'm game.
absolutely, absolutely. What I will do, especially if I'm gonna ask next time if there's anybody that needs how do you call it, alternatives, and I will throw in alternative options for sitting in a chair, or I will throw in alternatives. I don't suggest an armchair. I suggest, if possible, a stool, so that your arms are free to, you know what I mean. I want to, or nothing, if possible, nothing in the back, no backrest, no armrest, just a stool, so you can rest on it, but you can still move.
Okay.
Otherwise, because I still would like you to be able to do waist isolations.
You'll
Okay.
figure it out.
Doing that when David gets home, so he will have to acknowledge that I'm wanting to dance, and maybe eventually, because he'll run away as soon as he sees me doing something like that, run away. But then I'm gonna say, it's because I want you to dance with me. We're coming up on our 24th anniversary, so.
Well, congratulations. That is amazing. In this day and age, that is like unheard of. Like for the younger generations, at least.
He's going to dance with me on our 25th at least. I'm going to make him.
Yes. And
Congratulations.
you put up a hidden camera to make sure that you capture it and always show them you can do this. I'm not saying we're going to show it publicly. I'm just saying you'll have that. You'd be like, see when we did this?
A memory.
Man.
When my favorite memory of David, when the kids was little, Haley would have her big can on under her clogging and skirt and her big frilly socks and her clogging shoes, and we wouldn't want her to walk through the grass or the mud and get mud in her clogs, so he would pack her. And so this big burly Grizzly Adams man was packing this little girl with this big giant can and all this lace and frills, and he'd just pack her around and didn't faze him at all. And that's one of my favorite memories about David. But now, since the kids have gotten older, so we've kind of turned into curmudgeons, I'm trying to get him into different things. And we do have a place. They opened a brewery about 15 minutes from the house where they do have Saturday night dancing. And I've been hitting really hard. So maybe
yes, I think he just needs to have a few beers. I'm obviously in recovery. I don't drink anymore. I've had enough beers for a lifetime. But Dave, if he doesn't have a problem with it, have 2 or 3 beers and he'll loosen up.
He drinks one, and I'm the most gorgeous thing in the world. Then he's asleep.
Maybe it'll be like weekends at Bernie's. You just hold him in your arms. And pass out, you'll be dancing, and someone will take a video, and you'll be like, "Look what you did last night."
Yeah, like, oh my god! But the doctor told him to drink beer for his kidney stones one time, and like he had to force I got him a tall boy, and he had to force it down. But literally after he finished it, he kicked back to his recliner, looked at me, goes, "You're so beautiful," and then he snored, and I was like, "Wow, man, that's no tolerance whatsoever."
Wow,
You would think a big old burly man would have more tolerance, none whatsoever. None.
Right, we'll get biscuits to I'll send some of the biscuit dance videos over for Dave, and then he can learn those, and hopefully that'll help him along. But this has been great. And Janet, prayers for your hip. I know how it goes. Sometimes I'm sitting here in some of these. Heather's dealt with her back. A lot of people I know are out there dealing with stuff. This belly dancing thing is, I know, like the hip thing might be an issue. Certain movements, regardless, like give people, movement is medicine, even if it's just if you can only do certain things. And so it is super important. Just get the blood flowing, get the lymph flowing. Loosen up the fascia, which gets tight and makes the injuries worse. So if anything can be done to alleviate some of those, like I hope that we could talk about it as a community and come up with ideas. I think Ursula's got some great ones. Go ahead, Heather.
Well, I have issues with my SI joint, my tailbone, things like that. So I am a little limited on what I can do. But it's still, I can each time, each week that passes, I have a little bit more flexibility. I've learned to isolate certain muscles, so that it's when you really engage your core and you're using your stomach to do it, it takes the pressure off the other areas, like because that's what you're using, focusing to move, rather than using the, you know, different muscle groups like that's attached to my SI joint that causes me to shift and stuff. So I think it's really helpful. Somebody had asked what my handle was, and it's just like you see it on the screen right here.
Right. Hey, you girl. And I think she found you. So great. Yep. Make connections. And then I have links down below. So if you want to get to Liz's Etsy store, if you want to get to Crystal's Etsy store, she does balms and stuff like that. Everybody's got a little bit different stuff to add to the community. So there's community links down below. I have my link tree in there. So if you use that, you can see the Telegram chat. That's get into the Booma chat where a lot of these ladies are, or some of them are, so that you can get into Heather's, or let us get to know you a little bit, and you can jump on the streams and all that kind of stuff, or get into some belly dancing. But this has been great. I don't know if anybody else, before we close out, has anything that they wanted to add real quick, but it's been awesome having some of the Ursula and Lisa for the first time, Lionessroars back, and Liz, it's always great to have you on. So whenever I can get you on, I'm going to try to pull you into this. You're a hoot.
Talker, so I try to not be on very often because I'd rather listen.
Right.
But
And Janet,
on your dolls, because I want to get them there ASAP for you.
right. And you can look in the background and you can see the latest Booma doll and then the head of the upcoming biscuits. Oh, there you go, Janet. There you go.
I gave him long hair, and I
They're
can't.
just adorable.
Until I finish his clothes, I can't put his head on. But I love the new hairstyle, y'all. I love it.
It kind of matched the Macarena a little bit. Obviously, the Macarena has a big fro, but he's got a little curl.
It's always interesting to see because everyone's unique. That's
Yes.
the neat part about your work is that you've not made two exactly the same ever.
No, they have personalities. They show their personalities to me, and that's what I make. And but now since I saw the belly dancing Booma, oh my gosh!
Oh, great! That's the one you took out of all this. I'm going for a Liz Tata's doll.
Yeah,
I want to see a Liz belly dancing doll. I want to see.
Make me a Fatima of the 29 bells. That's what I'll do. And this doll, Janet, almost stands on its own. But I did find 2 stands, so I will send stands with your dolls, Janet. So I've got them.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're very
I'm looking
welcome.
forward. It'll probably
That's
be about a
awesome.
week and 2 weeks once you ship them to California for me to get them down here, depending on the delivery date of my brokers. So yeah.
Well, I'm trying to every spare minute. I'm trying to. I can't crochet that while I'm doing this because I have to pay attention to the pattern. But every spare minute, I'm crocheting because I'm like, they've got to go to a different place before they go to where they're going.
Yeah, no, don't stress about it. I'm, like I don't want you getting ill or being overworked for that. It's not. I'm looking forward to it.
Good. It's
But
this,
listen,
y'all have
I'd
been
like
great.
to. Go ahead.
Oh, I said y'all have been great for me. I love you to death. Y'all have been super great for me. I try to keep my prices as low as possible for work, but my thing is I want to send smiles. So.
It's amazing.
And you do a great job.
And it's international at this point, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bigger, dude. It's getting bigger.
Yeah. Listen, Booma, you offer such a great platform for people to come together that are like-minded or at least have some of the same methods of thinking around what's going on. So I'd like to say thank you very much for all the hard work that you do. And the same with you, hey girl. Heather, you do an amazing job keeping us on track and doing what you do. Makes us all feel really comfortable and safe in our own way.
That's why it's so easy to make the dolls. Everybody here has got such a powerful personality.
Right. And I'd really love to just be able to offer a platform like that. This community has helped me afford the StreamYard, afford the Zoom, and that's why I can offer it up to Heather and to Ursula and to the belly dancing and all these kinds of things. That's why I wanted to make this platform. That was originally why I got in this. I didn't want to be the guy on the screen. I wanted to be behind the scenes, which I was working behind the scenes. Then I saw so many ways that I just couldn't help but be like, it could be done better, or it could be done to highlight others and not have narcissists just shine. I want everybody to be able to have a voice that, like I said, we do a little bit different now. You go through the Booma Gauntlet or whatever, we make a joke of it, but you come into the community and we get to know you just enough where we bring you on and you have a voice. All of us have done the research or have a perspective or live in a different part of the world that has a different take on things or a different eyes on things, mind on things. And it's important to be able to have these conversations. And I appreciate every single one of you. So it's my honor. And then what Heather's got going on with the women's group is taking this to a different level that I would never be able to provide. So I really appreciate you, Heather, and Ursula stepping up and being able to share your gifts with people. That's awesome. And I'm really stoked when I see new people coming on. We've had like Emil and Moses and some other people coming on. Janet kind of just came on more recently. That's awesome. I love being able to have Lionessroars and now Lisa and Ursula. I just hope people, I know some people get a little anxious or whatnot. This is still small sandbox and we just have fun. And you don't ever have to feel like you have to say anything or anything like that. But if you want to say something, you feel like you want your voice heard, or you just want to say hi, or you just want to be a part of the community in this way, you are welcome. So I love hosting.
And just know out there too that you're not alone in being nervous. I still get a little nervous here and there. I've done enough of these where it's just, I get excited now. It's like, I could go hang with my friends. But it's not serious. Like, you don't have to worry. Everybody has something of value to offer. Like, even like Dorian was saying, even just your experiences and things like that. And most times people will be like, I'm nervous. I don't know if I'm going to have anything to say. It's like, just come on, just relax and just be a part of the conversation. And by the end, they're talking and they're happy and they're like, I want to do it again. So it really is a great time, and you don't have to, there's really no pressure. If you don't want to come on, you don't have to, but when you're ready and you want to share, this is a safe space where with like-minded people that's not going to look at you or like you have 10 heads and think you're being dramatic or crazy. You can come and share and just be yourself, be a part of it.
It's a loving community. That's what I found here.
It is.
Yep. That's exactly what it is.
It's been a blessing to me.
I have to say, this has been a lifesaver. It's been wonderful. And I enjoy being in this community. That's why I like to offer something. It's done so much. It's given so much to me. The Sabrina, this whole community has given me so much. And my way to thank everybody is to offer the classes. That's what it is, basically. It's a way to create more community and to thank everybody for everything they do.
And it boosts your biofield, because when you do something good and it goes out and it does other good things, you're just charging your own battery.
Yep.
Absolutely. Wonderful.
Yes, I feel blessed. I do.
Go ahead,
Can I just, sorry. So, number one, I'm glad that you love my northern accent, Boomer. I'm a proper northern girl. But more importantly, I stumbled across Sabrina and she saved my sanity. My father did the drawings for the first MRI scanner, and I've had a lot of strange personal experiences, but she connected the dots for me. Then I came across Crystal, who is the most adorable person, and I got into contact with her. Through Sabrina, I found you, young man. You've made me laugh. You've made me cry. You just hold a wonderful community. The content you put out is second to none. The hours you spend, I've no idea how you do it. Mr. Biscuits is adorable. Liz, you talked about how this community has helped you. I live on my own in the UK, and I quite often put you on YouTube and listen to you, and I've learned so much. Every person here, the hours that Heather puts in, Janet, Lioness, Ursula, anybody new coming to this arena, stick with it, because it's the best community you could ever find. And there are genuine, authentic people who do use some discernment because they've had issues, but it's worth its weight in gold. And you're just amazing, all of you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Woo. Thank you, Lisa.
This is how
Are you
That
silly?
was beautiful. Thank you. I know, me too. I'm like, oh.
No, but it's the truth. It is the truth. And you work so hard, and the hours that I know you all put in. But the variety of people, the life experiences, the things that learn, the way you support people who are struggling, the subjects that you tackle with the education, as well as the comic relief. I mean, we have banter all the time, but absolutely fabulous because Heather's my digital twin. It's just amazing, and you're saving people's sanity. You really, really are. Intelligent people's sanity.
Man, I appreciate that. I try, and I'm really glad that this is the result that's coming from this, but it's because of all of you too. So, man, it's just awesome. So, I think that'll be everything. Yes. Thank you for all the laughs, all the important conversations, and all of. Oh, Lionessroars, did you have something you wanted to say before we go?
I was trying to. We have quite a delay, I guess, but I just want to say everything that Lisa just said is so true. That, you know, listening to you guys on these streamers, I laugh, I learn, and finding Sabrina and Crystal, and I've listened to Hillbilly Heart too a couple times, and you all just crack me up, but I also can feel the love, and so I'm so honored to be here with you all. You're really making a difference, I think, in this difficult time in history, really. So thank you so much for everything that you're doing for all of us out here. And Biscuits cracks me the heck up.
He's a funny dude. He's the Wiley Biscuits, as Sabrina says. And I'm really looking forward. I mean, the classes are great. I'm glad that Sabrina did them, and there'll be more to come. I'm really looking forward to her and the Sinners games and some of the collaborations, and then getting her on with Hillbilly Heart and all of us, where we do panels and stuff, getting Sabrina back in the mix. Whenever we can get her, she's busy. But it just adds so much to the community for all of us to come together.
She was glowing yesterday. She was glowing yesterday.
Yes.
Just from all the interactions with all the wonderful people, you know, minus a few hiccups, you know, but that's going to happen in the real world. But she was glowing. This has been a phenomenal thing for her. She loves to teach, and then to meet the quality of people that she's met. She just was. I made a comment. I said, "You're so tan. You're so healthy. You're glowing," and I just loved. I'm really good support staff. I just like to sit back and watch her shine. And but I have to tell y'all the difference that this community has made for her. I'm just so thankful for each and every one of you, because she's needed this around her for a long time.
And I did forget. Sorry, Liz. And I did forget. I just want to shout out for Charlie as well. What a beautiful woman. The way she looks at her husband when she's on, even when she's being silly, the education, the information that she brings, it's just a delight. Honestly. Sorry, I'll finish now.
Charlie intrigues me. Yeah, Charlie, if Charlie and I got to talking, it would probably be a 5-hour conversation. But yeah, so many different personalities. And this is, honestly, I've been on the YouTube streets for about 13, 14 years now. This is the best community I've come by. Best one.
Wow. There's some great people here. I enjoy it. And if you are on Telegram, or you're interested in getting on Telegram, I'm not here to promote no platform. But if you can get in the Telegram chat, it's freaking hilarious. What we got going on with these dolls that Liz has been making, some of the memes and stuff, it's a joy. A complete joy. I wake up sometimes and there's already 5 or 6 in there sometimes, and I'm like just laughing as I wake up. Charlie is a hoot. She's really well educated. She does great presentations. It's been awesome to this community. Both her and her husband, amazing people, along with everybody here that's been on the panel, everybody that's added to this, and then there's people that don't want to be on, necessarily the screen, but they're in the community and they're doing awesome things too. And they're making people laugh, and they're adding to the conversation. They're sharing links. They're sharing perspective. It's a beautiful thing. And
there's my Sabrina doll.
Who's that?
I said, there's my Sabrina doll.
There's Sabrina.
There it is. The original. Let me put it up on the bigger. That's the original one, right?
I believe it is. I made so many I've lost track. That
I
is
know, right?
my favorite one because I really put a lot into that outfit.
So awesome. All right, ladies, we could be here all day. I really love this community chat, and I hope that we have some more of them here very soon, and we have them on the books. So whoever joins, I'm looking forward to it. God bless you all. And little kitty,
Little kitty cat.
having the best life. I love it. So God bless you all. Look forward to catching you on the next one. As always.
Bye, guys.
Peace.